The Ray movie. Is it on? Is it off? Conflicting reports. Some say it is. Jeff Snyder says it's not on hold. Well, I got the co-host, the hot mic, to tell me what the hell is going on with the Ray movie. At least we think. The box office is in. And How to Train Your Dragon does it again. There are very, very close movies. There's a few close movies that are almost at $1 billion. Lilo and Stitch being one of those. Will they do it? We shall see. There's a tons and tons of other stuff. A lot going on this week. Why does John Rocha hate James Gunn so much? We're going to find that out and more on the show here today. So it is the Kristian Harloff Show. Me and John Rocha. Can John Rocha defeat Capes and Cows? It's been Rocha versus Capes and Cows the last 2 weeks. Can he pull out a win this week? We shall see. Let's get into it. How are you? Nice to see everybody here back today. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. Joining me on the show as always, John Rocha. What's up, Rocha? How you doing?
Hello, man. How's it going? Destroy
Good.
James Gunn. Destroy.
You do not like him.
No, it's not. I like him very fine as a person and as a creative.
I know you
as a PR person.
I know you.
I think he's completely just
You've
fumbling the ball.
I disagree with you.
Of course, you have to disagree with me.
Why do I have to?
You piss off your friend Coy if you didn't disagree with me. So go ahead. Yeah.
You know as well as I do
Please.
that that's not me. I've told Coy, sure, there's sometimes, and I've told you.
Yes.
There's times it's like,
what's the problem?
The problem is I think he's doing a pretty good job.
I think he's doing a pretty good job. Okay.
In general, yeah, I do. And I think that people know what's going on with this movie. I think the movie is
which one are you talking about? Because he's talking about 20 of them. So which movie are you talking
about? I think look, what I'm going to tell you is that it is not an easy job to do what he is doing.
Of course it isn't.
Not just running the whole thing.
Of course.
Kevin Feige, people are like, oh, Kevin Feige, you can't compare the two of them. Kevin Feige is not directing any movies.
Exactly. And why is that? Because Feige doesn't have the ego to go and direct movies and run the studio.
You can't say that.
Of course you can.
That's a different skill set.
Feige wanted to direct a Star Wars movie. Remember? That was in play.
No, he was never going to direct, dude. He was never going to direct. He's not a director. It's a different skill set.
That's fine.
By the
way, I'm joking through most of it. I want to make sure people really think I have a personal thing with James. I do not have a personal. If you come to lunch with me, I'd be very happy to have a conversation.
This is one of those things. I think this is to you. You feel the way about Gunn right now that I do about Filoni, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I do not feel that way about Gunn. I think Gunn is doing a good job. I think sometimes.
How can you say that though? But because you haven't seen anything from him other than Creature Commandos.
What's going on thus far in the way that he's handling things, I do think that sometimes he could maybe put a different piece out somewhere or not respond or do something along those lines. But that's backseat driving. I'm not in the seat. It's like there's no way to tell whether or not he's doing. You can have an opinion, right? Your opinion that he's fumbling the ball. My opinion is not. We won't really be able to justify either one of our opinions until 2 weeks from now when this movie comes out,
and maybe not even then. Because
I think initially you'll be able to know because you know as well as I do that if it hits that 175 to 180 that it potentially could hit. Then there's you think you think you're going to be talking about the guy's ego now.
Well, people have Michael Bay. People have Michael Bay hatred, right? Michael Bay's ego is astronomical, right? And so nobody has an issue saying Michael Bay has an ego. So why do people get upset when I say James Gunn has an ego? I don't understand it.
Different personalities.
He has a runaway ego, like you could argue Michael Bay has with. If you watch the special features and his Bay vision or Bay creations, that's really ego at a whole nother level. I'm not saying that. I just think James has a very healthy opinion of himself. And it comes through if you know and study people. Now, a lot of you may not be as incisive in studying the human condition. I've spent my entire life, really, for the most part, since I was a teenager, reading books on psychology, studying things like that, because I had my own issues to confront and deal with. So like to think I'm a little more aware of what people are saying and what you can read in between the lines with certain things people do or say. And so to me, this is a situation where I think James is a little bit on his heels and he's reacting to things as they come along and reacting the best he can. But there are holes in how it's reacting to things. And I'm just pointing them out, and maybe I should do a better job, to some people who think I'm biased, of pointing out the things that he is doing right. And so far, I have no complaints of the casting in Superman. I have no complaints about a lot of the footage I've seen in Superman. It's more the Batman stuff that I think he's being a little disingenuous with the audience, especially that ridiculous, everybody needs to get off Matt's nuts, which was nonsense, because Baloney made it really clear, Matt Baloney, who's more tied in than anybody listening or watching us, and even beyond you and I, he is more tied into the industry than anyone else. And he has made it very clear that it was the forces at DC who are getting frustrated with Matt Reeves. It wasn't the fans. And the only forces at DC are Zaslav, Gunn, and Peter Safran. So it's very clear what's going on here, in my opinion. And even today, James Gunn responded to Baloney's scoop saying that there was no script coming today for the Batman Part 2. So again, it's like, what is the truth here? And it isn't just everything.
But isn't that okay? But you just said that though. So, but that's the magic question, right? What is the truth here? Because it's like we can speculate.
Sure, of course. That's what we do. That's our job.
100%. You can speculate that you don't think that he's being forthcoming, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
I think that there is more. It is easier said than done, as I said, in the position that the man is in at the time.
Yeah.
You got to play politics. You got to figure out a way. Like I always mention, the best example that I've mentioned a million times over is when him and Safran took over, and he said, "We're going to keep the door open to everybody else, the Gal Gadots, the Ezra Millers, and all that." You have to at that point in time.
He was lying, but he was lying.
He was lying, but no, I don't want to say lying. He had every intention of doing what he's done now, but but the difference is this: he would have been in a pickle if he wouldn't have been lying if those movies would have all done $1 billion, because he would have been forced to make more of them.
That's the thing. He would have been forced. It wouldn't have been his natural decision. Yeah,
100%. But that's why you have to say that at that point in time. So I don't think it was a lie. It's a strategy.
No.
And I'm just saying there's a strategy behind it. And it's like, if the intent, if him going, look, we're going to keep the door open with the intent of, I don't even want to see these movies. So I'm probably going to have to recast. We're not going to put Gal Gadot. He's made it very clear he didn't want Henry Cavill. Right. So, and he wanted to put on a whole fresh face. So at one aspect, as the studio guy, he's going to go, well, I hope they make money, because, we'll get a little bit more and it won't be as much pressure on it. But the other hand, it's like, they're probably not going to perform very well. And that's going to be better for us, because then we can do what we need to do.
I think that's 100% what he was betting on. He was hoping that these films, no matter what he said publicly about Flash, right? I think he was hoping they would fail so that he could put his vision in motion. And look, I got no problem with that. I think I love sports. We love sports. Like, I like a guy to come in, is going to be in charge of the team, wipe out whoever you need to wipe out, because if this is it's going to reflect on you, you should be allowed to create the team that you want to create and mold it and shape it in the way that you want to shape it, because you have a vision, right? And I think James Gunn came in and played politics, and I think that messed with the fans. If he had just cleaned the board right off the bat, I think it would have been very clear that he is in charge, he's in control, and this is what he's doing, and you got to suck it up and live with it. And I would have appreciated that a lot more. But playing both sides to constantly seem like the good guy on all sides all the time becomes a bit tenuous, and it looks fake. And I don't think he's a fake person. I think he's actually a really caring person, a really genuine person about the things he cares about in terms of superheroes. The way he speaks about his wife is very lovely, and she's a great actress, and he deals with her being put in, and he deals with the anger that people have of her getting put into these things. I think he navigates that really well. But there are moments where he plays convenient sides of things, and his brother too, by the way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that, because you got to be careful sometimes when you do like that. I mentioned it. I know you were joking before, but like when you said, well, you won't call him out on it. And I was like, look, I did actually with the Superman, with the shot. Like when he said, he's like, oh, you know what? I didn't like that shot.
That one slipped by me. Come on.
You can play both sides and say, okay, look, if he was that busy and doing everything else to him, maybe it's to buy him, but don't say that you didn't pay, you were, because you defended it. You defended the shot when it came out. If it was like, if you didn't and you really missed it, then you would like, oh, you would have said it slipped by me when that came out.
Right.
So it's like, there are times you don't have to say anything.
That's the problem.
That's the thing, is you just don't, sometimes and I think because why he's endearing to a lot of people is because who else do you know that is as involved with the audience and on social media than him, for better or worse? Like, who do you know that does it more than him? Like, Feige is non-existent, Filoni is non-existent, Kathleen Kennedy is non-existent on social media. And I'm not saying that they should be. I'm just saying that they're not. He is. You have a good shot. There's a possibility. Like, if you tweet at Filoni or any of those people that I just mentioned, you ain't getting a response for the most part. You have a very low shot. Right. You got a shot with Gunn. So, and for better or for worse.
Right.
And I still think, they just released that interview that he did on the DC show with Coy and the rest. And I think Warner Brothers, this isn't anything else that James Gunn is in control, but that's where he should be releasing this information on that channel, not just that show, on that channel. Like, let that channel be a clip ouch channel and everything else too. It needs to be. Stop breaking it on threads and everything else too, and responding to someone who asks you a question about Booster Gold, and then you give information and all these sites pick it up. Break it on your damn channel and beef that channel up and get more people looking at that YouTube channel, not just the show.
That's not for him, because that isn't about his ego. He wants to be the one who, and again, guys, it's okay to have an ego in life, but you have to also recognize when it's a little bit like obvious. And so the thing with that is that he wants to release the things on his social media. He's got a big platform. He wants to be the person that they focus on when this stuff comes out. If he puts it out on the DC show, he is elevating the status of those people who are hosting the show. Right.
I'm not talking about the show, though. I'm talking about the channel. The channel has like 2.5 million subscribers. Got millions and millions of subscribers.
That's fine. But it's like, but they're not bigger than him. And so in his mind, rather,
clip it out. Put that clip on your social media.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to explain what I think is his mindset. Right. And again, I've never met the man, never sat down and broke bread with him. But this is what I sense from his healthy opinion of himself, is that he's going to decide, because he picks and chooses which social media questions to answer and how to answer them. And he curates them perfectly so that he can, well, not perfectly, but he curates them mostly.
Uses it for free PR. He doesn't have to worry about a PR person that he's going to deal with. He can say, oh, you know what? I feel like releasing some information about Clayface. This person asked. I'll go ahead and do it.
Or Phosphorus, how long has Batman been around? Does that make sense? The 15 years, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
So it's very interesting. Not necessarily on the docket, but I like conversations like this. I like to talk about these things, and I'm curious, what do you think of the job so far that James Gunn is doing? How do you feel that he's handling the DC stuff? And will we say, right guy for the job once Superman hits theaters? What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. John and Jeff Snyder talked a lot about this Ray thing. So here's the initial report that came out, and then John can give me some backstory on, because again, there was a conflicting report afterwards that said, actually, no, not on hold. So let's read the first part. First part is from Garth Franklin, and this is Friday's article that came out and said, new Jedi Order, the film is on hold again. Documentary filmmaker Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's untitled Star Wars film, dubbed New Jedi Order, in some circles is apparently on hold again. Earlier this year came the news that George Nolfi was tackling the script. Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson penned the original script and the leftover creative differences. Then Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight took a shot trying to crack it for well over a year, with multiple drafts submitted. By September last year, the project was put on hold and Knight exited, which makes me so sad. I would have loved to see what that movie looked like. Then Nolfi came on board in January and things seemed back on, but it wasn't clear how much work Nolfi had done with the script. Now, scooper Daniel Rickman says today the Ray movie is on hold today, as both the Sean Levy and James Mangold movie are moving forward first. The project is not canceled, just temporarily on hold. Daisy Ridley's Ray, now going by the name Ray Skywalker. Who are you? Ray. Ray, oh! Will be key to the future of the franchise, with the character expected to appear in the new trilogy. That's who's that? My mother? Anyway, that's Simon Kinberg. Hey, Simon Kinberg, what's up? Blowing it out. Simon Kinberg coming in hot. Coming in hot. Simon Kinberg with Sarah J and Lisa Ann. The project may end up having an impact This film, which is said to be around 15 years after the rise of Skywalker, with Rey training the next generation of Jedi. Rey ho! Anyway.
Look, if we can have Bill Burr in Star Wars, we need to have a New York in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's who she is. Rey ho! My favorite.
Skywalker.
My favorite. What's she doing out there? Shopping? She's in the middle of nowhere. Who are you? Rey. Rey ho! Worst. Anyway. So
this is gonna kill, guys. Right. This is gonna kill. This exchange is gonna kill.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on with this movie?
So I reached out to a couple of people who are connected, and by the way, one of them is the one that told me that Boyega is going to come back. Was going to come back.
Yeah.
And what I hear from them is that this thing is on an indefinite hold for now, because no one can seem to make it work.
Okay.
Like everyone has come in, they haven't seemed to make it work. It's gone through so many writers, as we all know.
Yep.
And the only thing they keep hearing, though, is that the trio is absolutely involved. That the goal is for Rey and Finn and Poe to come back and be a part of this thing if it ever gets off the ground. That's really the point. So they keep saying like, well, Rey's going to be in all these things and this is the plan and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. That's clearly where they want to go. But what they're hearing is that, what their vibe is, that they're feeling that they're probably waiting right now for Kathleen Kennedy to step down and then reevaluate what they're going to do with fresher eyes with the person or people, because the rumor is Carrie Beck and Filoni, who are going to take over. And that to me makes the most sense, because you don't want to launch a whole arm of Star Wars with someone who's about to leave in charge of the franchise. What do you think?
That makes sense. It just depends on, if you look at like the studio, right? And you look at basically what Catherine O'Hara is doing, that's going to be Kathleen Kennedy, right? And so that's my issue. One of my issues with the Filoni and Beck side of it all is because it's just that trilogy of people, that triad, whatever. Yeah, they're still going to be running it, and they're still going to be going to her and doing things. And it's like,
right, she's still EPing the other films.
It's the same coaching. It's the same coaching system. But if that coaching system is in play, and it looks like they signed on Daisy Ridley for like $12 million to do a movie, right? So they're going to utilize her one way or another. And I honestly think that they should. I think that she should get a shot to do more stuff that people really like. I liked her in the movies. I thought even the shit ones, I think she was great in them.
Yep. Agreed.
And I want to see more from her. I do not. I think we both agreed that Chinoy's not going to do this movie.
No,
she will not be doing this film. But what the movie will be, and the other side of it is that Kinberg will probably be doing this trilogy that they're putting together, which is hilarious, by the way, where they did this big announcement. We're not doing trilogies anymore. We're just doing standalones. What else is coming out? The Simon Kinberg trilogy is still coming out. And what about the Rian Johnson one? That's still happening. That trilogy.
See, now why can you call out her double talk and I can't call out James Gunn's double talk? I mean, come on.
This was an announcement that came out she contradicted herself within 5 minutes.
So does James.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Here's the
new shot. Here's the new shot.
Oh no, the difference is that we keep seeing this, and then you get
fair. There's a track record.
Yeah, totally. And bad receipts for the last, and we haven't had a movie since 2019.
That's true.
So it's very different. There's no game tape yet as an executive on James Gunn. One animated show that he did. He's had no
preseason tape, but not no game tape.
There's no game tape. That's why I said we got to wait until Superman. But I feel like, yes, you got to utilize her for sure. Now, talk to me about the Jeff Snyder side of this, because Jeff says that it's not on hold, right?
No, Jeff says that it is still they're still in motion with it. They're still planning on doing it because, like you said, they signed her the $12 million contract, and that there's a plan for her to be in numerous projects. For Rey to be a big part of it. So as far as he's hearing, it's still going forward with that mentality, right?
Right.
But they're definitely moving the other films forward.
Yeah.
And my thought was that makes sense because you want to get goodwill with the audience, and coming back with a Rey movie as your first movie out the gate was never a smart idea.
Agreed.
I think you'd said that as well.
Yeah.
So coming in, if Mandalorian Grogu hits, if the Starfighter, whatever it's called, hits,
yep.
And if the Mangold movie hits,
they'll be in good shape.
then you can bring a Rey in, because you know what? You've laid the groundwork
100%.
for Rey to return, don't you think?
That I agree with. I agree with that strategy.
Yeah.
And I think that, it allows you to get it right. You don't have, because we don't even know when they're coming out. I mean, it looks like the first movie is coming out next May. Starfighter's
Grogu,
yeah, and then Starfighter is 2026, isn't it?
Right.
Is it also is it December 2026 or is it 2027? I think because it's shooting. It's shooting this year. So so we might get 2 Star Wars movies in next year.
They've already cast.
They start shooting, I think, by soon. So I don't know.
Memorial Day 2027.
2027. Okay. Which makes sense. Okay, so let's say right now 2026 is Mandalorian and Grogu. 2027.
Yeah.
Starfighter, right?
Yes.
2028. Mangold.
Right.
Gives you 4 years to put together a Rey movie. And the beauty is, even as she gets older, it could benefit the character.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. It's not like one of these things you're like, oh man, you got to hurry up. Rob Pattinson, he's 40 years old. You're gonna Batman year 3, he's gonna be 40 years old. You gotta change the story. With Rey, it's like, yeah, look, we're gonna do the story 10 years after, because it's 10 years after. We're gonna do the story 15 years later because it's 15 years later. And it could benefit a wiser Rey of what she's been doing. And what it also allows them to do, at least in Starfighter, is it allows them to set up what the world and the universe is 5 years later after Rise of Skywalker. And it allows you to go, okay, she should have a cameo in that film.
Of 100%, right at the end. That's what it feels like, right to me. Yes, I agree.
They should have a cameo. So it's like, okay, well, but do it in a way that you're not promising what the next movie's going to be. Because if you do that, then you're in trouble. Then you're handcuffed. And you're handcuffed. You got to make the movie or whatever it might be. Have her show up. Once you have an idea, you have a gist of kind of where you're going.
Right.
Okay, then fine. But you got to be very careful on how you do that.
Yeah, hand off the kid possibly to Rey to be trained as a Jedi and all that. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we're looking at 2030, right, for a Rey movie at this point. Looking at the schedule, if 2026 is go, like I said, I want to limit the amount of projects we're doing.
Mandalorian Grogu is 2026, 2027 is Starfighter, 2028 is Mangold, so 2029 would be this. What's 2029?
I would skip a year and go to 2030, and that way you've got 5 years. And here's the thing, 5 years. Now, remember, what happened with the prequel trilogy, right? Everybody over the age of 25 or 21, for the most part, did not like.
I know you're saying.
I'm being generalization.
I know where you're going with this, yeah.
So there's going to be more time for people to have separation from the last movie, which came out, as you said, in 2019. It'll be 11 years. So a lot of those kids who enjoyed the film, the sequel trilogy, who were 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years old, are now going to be the loud, vociferous 20-year-olds or late teens who essentially made up the fandom of the prequel trilogy. So they will be louder in welcoming back Rey, welcoming back Finn, welcoming back Poe. And I think that's a way to play the long game here in this situation, because there is precedent for that.
There is. I mean, I still think that the thing is, though, by 2026, and remember also, Daisy Ridley's not going to be waiting around. She's going to be doing other projects and other things too.
But I wonder what the contract is like, the $12 million. How does that work?
You're going to probably want to lock her down. And if you're Disney at that point, you're making money on Mandalorian and Grogu and those other movies hit. I don't know if you're going to want to take that year off. You're probably going to want to put it out there and and deliver. But you could, but they might not want to do that. We'll see.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think a Poe Dameron Disney Plus series or a Finn Disney Plus series makes sense to kind of fill in the extra stuff for them as characters that you would want to see? Like if you had a Finn series in 2020,
who's show running it?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question.
That's a magic question. It's like, who's writing it? Who's show running it? It's like, because I will never say no outright again, because when who wants an Andor series? No one needs that series. We know what happens. He dies. And then it's like the best thing that they've done in a long time. So it's like, you can't, I got to know who's involved. It's the same thing we were talking about coaches. Right? Who's the coach? What's the lineup? Who's the players? So, the answer is depending on who is running it. Yes. Depending on who's running it. No.
Good answer.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And both those series would have to match the energy that you're going to come with the Rey movie. So you kind of have to have that all kind of mapped out ahead of time. Yeah.
What say you guys? You ever going to see a Rey movie ever again? Light of day? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Put your thoughts in there. What happens first? The Rey movie? The Rian Johnson trilogy? The Taika movie? You got a better chance of John Rocha joining the James Gunn fan club. All right, so
come on now.
Before we move on, I got to tell you guys, I know someone's talking about my shirt. People like my shirt. I've been wearing a lot of great t-shirts lately, and I have sweatpants. I wore this. I got a whole new wardrobe through True Classic. I don't know if you guys, John, do you know about True Classic?
No, tell me about it.
Oh, dude, I love True Classic. I really do. I've fallen in love with them. I'm not even just saying it. I love True Classic. I'll tell you a little bit more about them, but I'm going to go like this. I love True Classic. That's how I'm going to start this. I have fallen in love with them. I have so many new things, whether it comes to t-shirts, whether it is sweatpants, things I go to the gym for. I love it. I absolutely love them. At True Classic, the mission goes beyond fit and fabric. It's about helping guys show up with confidence and purpose. The gear fits right, it feels amazing, and it's priced so guys everywhere can step into confidence without stepping out of their budget. What really sets them apart, it's not just about the fit or the fabric, it's the intention behind everything that they do. True Classic was built to make an impact, whether it's helping men show up better in their daily lives, giving back to undeserved communities, or making people laugh with ads that don't take themselves too serious. They lead with purpose. So I have been loving True Classic. I got them. I've got a bunch of things that, again, like I said, shirts, pants, and I told my wife the other day, I said, I don't know if I want to go anywhere else right now. True Classic. I mean, I'm telling you, I went out to go out with some friends. I was wearing this True Classic t-shirt. They fit really nice. They just comfortable. It's good material. I love it. And you don't have to worry about it. Just get rid of the overpriced designer brands. Ditch the disposable fast fashion. True Classic is built for comfort. It's built to last, and it's built to give back. You can grab them anywhere, Target, Costco. You can head to trueclassic.com/Christian. That's where you really should go, and get hooked up today. You will love it. I have been swearing by it. I'm telling you, this is me telling you straight up. I love this brand. I love True Classic. I really do. And I got a pair of jeans from them the other day. It's phenomenal. I wasn't, because it's funny, John, I wasn't as familiar with them, and man, I fell in love with them like that.
That's awesome.
Really do. Yeah.
Okay.
Were you browsing the internet again? You went back to Mac.
All my okay, fine. Jesus.
Well, look,
right, I'm okay.
John, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, you and the last 2 weeks, you and Capes been going head to head again.
It would take two men to take me down. It would take.
It seemed like it. So they're at 4 in a row. They broke the record last week.
Nice.
You have an opportunity here to set the weekend. You beaten everybody else all week. You just couldn't beat them. You had everybody. You beat everybody last week. I was like, oh, is he going to do it? Yeah. And then they came in. So we'll see. Can John do it? I think people are rooting for you. I think they're rooting for you.
Oh,
I think so. Nice. I think people are rooting for it because you know how it goes. Anytime everybody they root for somebody to break the record, and then once the record's breaking, then they want somebody else to break it. That's how it goes.
Let me go 5 in a row. Come on, everybody.
Let's do it. All right. So right now, 26, as we are still about half an hour before we even get to questions. So let's talk some box office, Johnny.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Box office.
Hello.
How to Train Your Dragon comes in the #1 spot again. Pushing it to 37 million.
Wow.
And it has 358 million so far. 28 years later, divisive to say the least.
Yeah.
$60 million worldwide on what, like an $80 million budget.
Yeah.
Elio, though, is the story, I think, of the week. Eats a big pile of duty. At 35 million worldwide, only 21 million. Probably says a lot about original animation at the moment, unfortunately. Lilo and Stitch, this is the one. 910 million so far. Another 9.7 this weekend. Mission Impossible rounding it out 6.6 with a total of 540. Still not going to make the money it needs to, but it's still making money so far. John, out of those movies.
Yeah.
What stands out and why?
Well, the Elio one I think is very sad because it was reviewed so well.
That's cute.
Yeah, and it's a very cute movie. Yeah, it's not as great of a Pixar offering, and that's where I think at times these Pixar films get bit in the ass because you can't just come out with a middling Pixar film or a kind of good Pixar film because everyone goes, it's not Toy Story, fuck it, and get really mad about it, or they get these disingenuous takes. Like I can't remember who it was. Someone was going like, it's called the Communiverse. They're not even trying to hide communism, Disney. It's like, are you on planet Earth? Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's community. So it's tough to defeat when you've got nonsense like that rolling around. And I just don't think the marketing for this was really strong. Just like Elemental, the marketing wasn't strong. But I think it's much more nuanced, isn't it, Chris? Much more complicated. People are like, oh, see, you don't want original films. That's not it. It's more a matter of how you're pitching these, how you're marketing these things. Elio had a number of stops and starts, and then
it also got too much competition.
Right now
against IP. Like you look at the family movies and the kids movies that are out there right now.
Yeah. Lilo and How to Train Your Dragon, man.
It's still out there somewhere, still making money. It wasn't in the top 5, but it's still making money, right? And then you've got Lilo and Stitch, obviously, and then How to Train Your Dragon. That's the stuff right now because it's attached to IP. People know what it is.
Yeah.
Let's go see that. And the movie it's a cute little movie, but it doesn't have that same magic that like an Inside Out does. That's original because Inside Out was original and it crushed.
Yeah.
And it's just, I give a little bit more leeway to Elemental because of the time it came out and it was still like right off of COVID and all that stuff too. And it was harder. But it was this movie, it just, like you said, marketing was not very good.
Yeah.
It's a sweet movie, and I think it's a movie, and I said as much when I saw it. I think it's going to be a movie that, hey, what do you guys want to watch tonight? Let's get the kids, let's get the family, let's watch it. And they watched the movie in front of them. Oh, it was a cute little thing. All right, what's on next? What do you do?
Yeah.
It's not a movie that stays with you. It's just not.
It's lightweight.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And look, I'm not saying Lilo and Stitch, or we're not saying Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon have these really heavy messages.
Oh, no, they have a built-in IP.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key there. Yeah.
And especially that unfortunate, whether you like it or not, that's the way that this business, the theater business, works right now. And that's why, and I always say, well, why they need more original stuff? There's always original stuff. There's original stuff every other day. Now, there's two different arguments. Now, why aren't they putting a lot of money into like tons of money and big budgets into original? Elio is your answer. Why? That's your answer. Why?
Yeah,
that's why they don't put the money into it. But they're building out. There's always new original ideas, and they pop up on streaming. I just had the guys on last week that did like a $300,000 film. It's on Amazon. It's on everything else too. There's original stuff that's on all of the time.
Yeah,
you got to find it because you're not going to find it through the big marketing through the studios and stuff because of results like this.
Yeah,
you're not going to see it. If you're not going to see it for the amount of money they're spending on it, they're not going to make them at that budget.
Yeah.
So it does, and I think I said as much in my Out of the Theater. I said, this movie's not going to make money.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not one of those movies you're like, holy shit, this is such a special movie. Everybody needs to see this. Get the families out there. Don't worry about the repeat viewing of How to Train Your Dragon. This is the one to see. That's the kind of reviews they needed. They didn't get those.
Yeah, but I think even if they did, because the reviews have it's 80 to 90%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes.
Movie.
It's good. Yeah, but like there's just not the push or the uniqueness of the film, as you said. I think, just to underline your point, like if these reviews had come out and be like, this is game changing and you're going to cry, you're going to really be devastated by this movie, I think that would have had much more of an effect, as you were saying. And unfortunately, this is just, it got caught up in the grind of the timing of when it was released. And unfortunately, it wasn't a film that's like just this massive thing that you have to go see. And so Pixar takes it on the chin for this. And it's a shame because I think there's people who are going to use the results here to push their narratives. And I think Pixar has been delivering some really great stuff over the last few years, but so many people just want to ding it because it's a new punching bag for them to go after. And I think it's unfair because there's a lot of really great stuff that comes out of there. And that recent baseball series or softball series was so good. That was so sweet. So
the quality hasn't gone down on what they're making. It's just a matter of like, you can't put it is a matter of, again, John, just how are you spending your money? You got to pay attention to what
You're
people
100% right. Yeah. And the other part of it too is Christian, remember like the idea of Pixar doing a sequel was so novel, like it was so unique. Now it's like what their lifeblood is doing.
It's a necessity. Yeah, they have to do it.
Frozen,
Yes.
Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and just keeping on this, because we're going to get to 28 years later, it takes in 60 million worldwide. Elio earns Pixar's worst debut ever.
Yeah.
So, Alex, this is again from Mark Cassidy, comic book movie. Alex Garland, Danny Boyle's 28 years later, now in theaters, and the long-awaited sequel is off to a pretty good start. According to the latest updates, the movie took in 30 million overseas, 60 million overall. Not bad result for an R-rated horror film with a reported budget of 75 million, but it will be interesting to see how the movie continues to perform. Reviews were excellent, but general audiences haven't embraced it. And Elio, going back to it, things are not looking good for the animated film. What went wrong here? We just kind of broke that down as far as what we thought, but let's talk about 28 years later.
Yeah. I'll bust out my spoiler review later today. Yeah,
okay, because I saw Snyder and his brothers review, and they hated it. They hated it.
I know. He told me on the show.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And but I understand why it is getting the split reaction from fans. It is a very, very it's a very stylistic movie.
Yeah.
It takes big swings overall. It gets really bizarre and crazy at times. Like it's a batshit crazy. It's a batshit movie. Yeah. It really is. And I think I needed that. I think I was looking for that. And I like the idea of how it does not look like an $80 million movie at all.
No.
It looks like a $20 million movie. And that's a compliment, by the way. Right. That's a compliment. And I liked the performances in it. I liked how nutty it got. I like how the world was set up. I haven't heard your thoughts on it though. So what did you think?
Yeah. I thought it was equal parts disappointing and equal parts exciting. Okay. And that's where I came to when I, did my review, which will be out later. I just I didn't like the kid that much. So it kept me from connecting to the things he was going through. I felt a bit of a distance or aloofness. Or a bit of put upon. I'm feeling these emotions because I'm supposed to feel these emotions. And so for me, I couldn't invest in what was going on with him and his dad and what was going on with him and his mom. Like it just felt a little hollow for me. And that's all subjective, right? Because for some people, like Jeff said, Alfie really stood out to him. And as I think you're just saying now, you liked the kid. Well, that affected me enjoying the movie overall. But I think I liked the performances of Aaron Taylor Johnson. I liked Jodie Gomer. I really liked Ray Fiennes. I do not share Jeff's opinion about that character. I liked that character a lot and what he was doing. And there was a poetry within the madness of him that I thought was great to see in the movie. And I thought what happened with Jodie Comer's character and what she goes through, I thought there was something really beautiful in that. And then the end, I understood the ending because I'm an Anglophile. And so I knew exactly who they were emulating when they popped up on screen, but it was no less shocking when you see that finale and you're like, oh, they're going in this direction. This is going to be so evil and dirty. Because if you haven't seen the documentary on the guy they're emulating, it's on Netflix. It is such an uncomfortable watch. It is so hard to watch that. So, they're going even darker in the second installment,
Yeah, I will say though, and this isn't like I haven't liked a lot of I didn't see Candyman, so I don't know. The Nia DaCosta, I got to judge it off the Marvels. I did not like the Marvels. But it has nothing to do with her. I just think there are certain what I will say, and I think you will agree with this because even though you said it was mixed up, Danny Boyle is as much of a star of this film than anybody else.
100%.
And 100%. You need that in this movie, at least for me. And I think that's what the second one was missing.
Yes.
And the first one, it's his style, and you feel him present without it overtaking the movie.
Yeah.
I think that the style of this movie actually helps the substance of the movie. And it makes it a substance in the movie. And I don't know if that will happen in the next one. I want to be proven wrong, but I feel like the movie needs Danny Boyle, and especially the conversation that this one is putting in. $60 million. I mean, I think on the next, it made 30. I think it'll do another 10 next week. What do you think it'll make?
Yeah, we'll
10
see.
domestically. 10 domestically.
I went to go see it in the theater on Saturday, and there was 10 people in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that does not bode well. And I didn't even go to the IMAX screening, which is, of course, the more expensive one. I went to a regular screening, which I like to do sometimes just to gauge where a film is at. And so for me, I just don't think it's resonating with people for whatever reason that may be. And I think spending 80 was not a wise decision, clearly, because it looks like you might struggle to turn a profit. And this could affect whether we get the third film, Kristian, because as you said, if the second one comes out, just like the second one came out, the second one in this trilogy that they're making within the franchise comes out and it's not received well or doesn't do well, then that third film becomes like, is this going streaming? Like,
look at that Kevin Costner Western.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's that thing? Do you think having, and this might turn out to be
10 is fair, but it might be less. But yeah,
this might turn out to be brilliant strategy here. Do you think by saving Cillian Murphy and having him come back in the next one, that'll help the box office?
Yes, I think it will. But I think now they're thinking, well, maybe we need to put him in the second one. If the box, because they're still shooting, I think, the second one. So if the box office isn't doing that strongly right now, and they're sensing that it might not break even or make a profit, then you might want to add a few scenes with Cillian and then maybe use him as part of the promotion to lead us into the firm. And I think he was going to appear in the second one at some point, but maybe they want to pump that up a little bit more so that they lead into the third one and people are a little more excited about it. That's another element I think that's missing here, Kristian, is that the Danny Boyle thing is important, but so is the Cillian Murphy thing. That is really important because Robert Carlyle was fine for the second movie, but he's not Cillian.
Right.
And I like Robert as an actor. He's really good, but he's not Cillian. And Cillian is important for the success. Him and Danny Boyle is the magic combo for this particular franchise. And so that may have been another reason too. And I think if you're thinking of Aaron Taylor Johnson or James Bond, you might want to bury those. You might want to put them in bed. Oh yeah. You look at how Craven crashed and burned, and you look at how this one is struggling to make a profit. It's Aaron Taylor Johnson who's the lead of both of these movies. And so
I don't think that affects him. I don't.
Really?
Nah. I don't think, because I don't think you can look at, first of all, this movie already has made $60 million upside. If you're saying in general, if it turns out that it makes its budget back or loses money, they're going to go, oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson is not a draw.
He's not a draw.
No one marketed this movie off of Aaron Taylor Johnson. They said that he was in it. They put it, but it wasn't the strong that, well, this is an Aaron Taylor Johnson led. It was led with Danny Boyle. It was led on the backstory.
That's fair, but he is like the notable name.
Yeah.
And more than Jodie Comer, because I know Jodie Killing Eve and all of that, but
I don't disagree with that.
Bike Riders didn't make a lot of money, neither did all these other films that she's done.
But this is the benefit, and we talk about this all of the time. We have said this time and time again.
Yeah,
that the movie star doesn't really exist as far as putting asses in the seats.
Oh, not even Tom anymore after that.
No, we've said this many. We've said this many times over.
Sure.
The studios are as aware of that as we are. It's about IP. And what I always use, the same example I will use again to defend Aaron Taylor Johnson, is Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling has tons and tons of non-hits that he was great in. And I use even a really good movie in Fall Guy, which I enjoyed, an entertaining movie that was too expensive, based off an IP nobody gave a crap about, had Emily Blunt in it also, right? They didn't say, no, you know what? That's Ryan Gosling's fault. He can't draw. We don't want him in Star Wars. They put him in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the question's going to be, James Bond's going to sell the movie. It's not going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson or whoever. Like, oh, great. That's a great actor to do it. It's like, do people care about James Bond still? And the answer is yes, they do. James Bond, I think Aaron Taylor Johnson will be cast as James Bond.
You do. You really do.
I do. Yeah.
So here's my counter to what you said.
Okay.
And I totally respect where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You said earlier, we don't have enough game tape on James Gunn. We do on Kathleen Kennedy.
Right.
Well, we see a lot of success in Ryan Gosling's career where he's been the lead or he's been a big part of a movie, right? Crazy Stupid Love is one of the most kind of iconic ones for him. Like there's a lot of good films that should not have made the money it made, and Ryan Gosling rode it to a profit. There's nothing like that in Aaron Taylor Johnson's resume, even Kick-Ass, most people think of Chloe Grace Moretz or Nicolas Cage in the first movie before they think of Aaron Taylor Johnson. So when we look at the game tape of Aaron Taylor, where there's not as much success, and now that doesn't mean he's not an incredible actor.
He was also in Fall Guy, but he was also in Fall Guy. By the way,
Fall Guy, right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, Nosferatu is not his movie. That's Nicholas Hoult, right? And Lily Collins, I think it is, or Bullet Train. That's a Brad Pitt movie. The King's Man, that was Ray Fiennes, didn't do that well. Tenet even is not his movie, right? That was John David Washington. So there's quite a few, and the smaller stuff, sure, like Nocturnal Animals, even Godzilla. Those are well-received films, but Godzilla is the sell. So you're not seeing anything aside from the Kick-Ass movie, and the second wasn't even that good, where Aaron Taylor Johnson is the focus. So that's what I look at when I look at this here. He's had chances to lead now this late in his career, and it is not happening for him box office wise. So maybe they don't look at the superstars or movie stars anymore. I agree with you on that, but they do look at who's hot, who the public is responding to, I think, a little bit. And I wonder if maybe this is going to affect him. Whereas Daniel Craig wasn't known, but he wasn't leading films, So
no, he was in some. He was Layer Cake and other things, but smaller stuff.
Right, smaller stuff. Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan was leading stuff and wasn't really popping. A lot of these Bond guys weren't leading stuff and weren't like huge stars when it was made. But that's the big question, right? Is how, because the one thing I will say though, to counter what you just said, was that he is not well received as far as you could say if you're the business guy, which you wouldn't really, if somebody sat down and said, okay, look, Aaron Taylor Johnson, look at his past movies and look at his receipts and look at what has happened here. They're not paying to go see him. To which I would say, yeah, but let's look at some reviews. What do they say? Movie's not great. Aaron Taylor Johnson is spectacular.
That's true. That's fair. Totally fair.
Every time you hear any movie he's in, right, the movie itself, it didn't do that great. He's great in it. You just said it before. With 28 years later, you said something about Aaron Taylor Johnson.
He's great in the movie. Yeah.
He's good in the movie.
Right.
So that would be my argument is, what are we trying to do? James Bond's going to get people in the theater. Do we want a guy that's going to pull it off? That's the guy that pulls it off.
Well, would you hand Jodie Comer Wonder Woman?
I don't think she's right for the role. Not because of acting.
Okay, Captain Marvel. Would you hand her Captain Marvel?
Also tough. That one's tougher. Well, I mean, you're saying before Brie Larson?
No. I'm saying if Jodie Comer, if you could cast her as the lead in a superhero film, would you do it right now? One of the notable superhero films, because she's gotten great reviews in everything that she's done.
Look, she was almost going to be in Star Wars and everything too. That's a loaded question for comic book movies, right? If you're telling me the same kind of career that she had, and then we're in 2018 when that movie comes out, yeah, I'd put her in there. Okay. I'd put her in there for sure, because again, it was Marvel that was selling it, and it's like, okay, it's Marvel, here's the movie, it's Ms. Marvel, and this is our lead actress, and people go, well, okay, we got to see. Brie Larson's not the one that got people into the theater. Well, she was an Oscar-winning actress when she took. People were excited that she was cast in it, but she's not the only reason they went to see it. They went to see it because it was the next movie after Infinity War.
Exactly, it was that one in between. Yes.
So I feel like Jodie Comer could have done that leading into and held the movie? Yeah, of course. She's a great actress. But no. As far as Wonder Woman, no. You know my choice for Wonder Woman.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
But you look at her. Well, here, look at her. Right. So Adria Arjona.
That could be an interesting situation. But she's also coming up a hot show in
right. That's Morbius was the farts though, and she's been in some stinkers, but she's been the same thing. Movie's crap. She's great.
Yeah.
I think as long as you can do, like, I just don't think Aaron Taylor Johnson has enough lead films, that have not done well. Okay. What movie has he led besides Craven?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that have done well. I mean,
what movie has he led?
Well, he led this, whether you like it or not. He led 28 years later.
This movie. The kid was the lead in this movie. He is not the lead of this movie. He's not even in the second half of the film.
Well, he is. He comes when the kid comes back. He comes running after him. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
The movie is the kid. The kid, it's his movie.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Big role, right, but not his movie. And again, Daniel Boyle. Anyway, great conversation. I dig it. You guys, what are your thoughts? Put your thoughts in there about everything we just discussed, whether it's Aaron Taylor Johnson as Bond, whether it's the box office in general. What do you say? Now, Bond is an anticipated film. Yes. No doubt about it. Ain't my most anticipated. Even if it was coming out next year, Bond, but if it was going up against the Odyssey, I'm seeing the Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Christopher Nolan's adaptation is rumored to be hit with an R rating, to which I say, hell yes. That is exactly what you need. Yeah, of course. I don't want pussyfooting around a PG-13. Show me the goods.
Show me people getting decapitated.
Show me the goods. Show me fighting. Show me banging. Show me everything. Nothing's confirmed yet. New rumor is claiming that Christopher Nolan's highly anticipated adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey will be rated R, according to a new rumor. My time to shine low. How is this guy get so many scoops?
It's a woman.
How does she get so many scoops? I don't know. And Daniel Rickman, and Snyder, they're all locked in.
Yeah, she's
good for them. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey will be rated R. This would be somewhat surprising development, though. Homer's poem certainly features enough violence, sex, and other elements to warrant an R-rated adaptation. We assume that Universal would prefer PG-13 in order to appeal to widest audience possible and maximize profits. Wasn't Oppenheimer rated R?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Studio might well have pushed for more family-friendly rating. I don't think that they did. It's Nolan. He said, I'm doing R. And at that point, they go, okay.
He's going to do whatever he wants to
do. Do whatever he wants. Nolan as a filmmaker is in a position to make any type of movie he damn well pleases. Yeah, he's right.
It's I made a billion, bitch. I made a billion.
Yeah. And I don't think I was going to ask him, hey, is it rated R? Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool.
We'll talk about this in a second. It's also worth keeping in mind that Nolan's last movie with the studio was the R-rated Oppenheimer, which went on to gross just short of $1 billion worldwide and won several Academy Awards. The first teaser for The Odyssey is expected to screen ahead Jurassic World. Oh my goodness! Wow. I didn't know that. That's right. That's like next week. Holy moly! We were talking about we were thinking that maybe it was going to come out at the end of the year. That's great. So we should find out if there's any truth. Nah, I don't know if you're going to necessarily find out the truth in a teaser unless it's a Red Band trailer.
Yeah.
Only Matt Damon's role as Odysseus has been confirmed, but it's believed that Tom Holland will take on the role of his son with Zendaya as the goddess Athena. We have also heard that Robert Pattinson will play Hermes. Greek media site oneman.com recently shed some light on which mythological heroes and villains a good chunk of the actors will play. Just in case some of these roles are supposed to be a surprise, there's a spoiler warning. Okay, well, we don't need any of that. We're just talking more so about the rated R stuff. But the first thing I want to bring up, though, as I mentioned, My Time to Shine Hello, Daniel Rickman, yourself, and Snyder, right? Yeah. Every time I'm reading scoops and stuff too, recently, it seems to come from the hot mic and from Daniel Rickman, My Time to Shine Hello to the main ones, right?
Right.
And then the Hollywood Reporter will take that scoop, 3 weeks later and claim it as their own. But I think they just did that with the Punisher.
Right. Recently. Boris Kit, which I
love Boris Kit. Why did you do that?
I like Boris too. And I like Justin Kroll, but sometimes they do that. And, but Justin usually gives Jeff credit. I don't know if I've ever received credit from Justin. Maybe the hot mic has, but I tweeted at Boris. Like I tagged him. I didn't want to be a gutless coward. I tagged him and I was like, come on, brother, give our brother some love, man. But no mention of it. But My Time to Shine Hello reached out to me on DM and she said, like, hey, I just so you know, I gave you credit when it initially dropped and sent me the tweet. And it was very nice of them to do that.
Because you know what it is? I think the reason why is because, as I mentioned, that seems to be the new style of reporting that is hitting more so than the old trades in the same way that the way it used to be. The trades are still getting stuff and breaking stuff, but it seems like every time with this type of stuff, you guys and My Time to Shine Alone and Daniel Rickman seem to be the ones that I'm hearing most about. But anyway,
we're not tied to the studios. These guys are tied to the studios and what they can and can't break. And most of the times they're breaking stuff with the studio's approval, right? We don't have to necessarily have that. Which allows us to be a little more independent. And some fans get, well, you didn't get this right. And it's like, oh, there was like 90 other things we got right. Do you want to actually go through the list?
Yeah. Nonetheless. So this is a good scoop here. And I do think that if this will be a rated R film, and it should be a rated R film, as we were just kind of joking, not joking in the fact that Christopher Nolan walks in the room and they say, well, hey, what's it rated? And he goes, X. And you're going to see everyone, you're going to see penetration. They go, okay, it's Christopher Nolan. Right, because what I just said beforehand to you about the movie star, we've said many times over also, and that is the fact that there are a few directors that are stars.
100%.
and will get people into the theater.
Yes.
Christopher Nolan is probably the top guy right now that will get people there because it's a Nolan movie. You don't care what it is because it's a Nolan movie. There are other people, the Tarantinos, the Scorsese, like I said, and people get all upset when I say this. Jordan Peele is a guy right now. He's putting on films that are getting people because, it's a Jordan Peele movie coming out. Oh, I want to see what that's going to be. That's going to be exciting. He's doing new, inventive, exciting stuff. And it's the director. And I mean, I think Greta Gerwig is getting there. You know,
love
she just had Barbie, which is a big one.
Yeah.
She got to follow that up, and Narnia's got to be great, or she'll lose that status. But that's just it's a curiosity. Well, what's she going to do next? That's a curiosity. And Jordan Peele had that after his first one, and then he delivered, and Nolan has been boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Right. So this to me makes all the sense in the world because you trust in Nolan. This dude, how much hype? If this would have been anyone else doing the Odyssey, that'd be interesting. Okay, fine. I mean, I'm curious to see, but Nolan doing the Odyssey, you're like, sign me up.
Right. Because we just had an Odyssey movie with Ray Fiennes and Juliette Binoche. Nobody went to see this.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and so The Return. And so, like, I think it's out streaming on Max or one of these things. But anyway, like, so you see that. And that's the truth. Nolan's the one selling this movie. Like you were saying earlier about Danny Boyle selling 28 years later. This is absolutely Nolan selling this movie because no one's clamoring for another Odyssey adaptation. You know, I saw Brett Goldstein from Shrinking and Ted Lasso talking about Shakespeare, and he's like, why are we still doing Shakespeare? Who the hell still cares about Shakespeare? I'm not going to do his British accent, but like basically is what he was saying, because it was like, we've done it already. And the Odyssey falls into that category. Both TV series and movies have been made for decades on the Odyssey. So even Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is the Odyssey in a Southern format with Clooney and all that crew there. So we've seen it, but it's it's Nolan selling it. And I trust an R-rated epic, because this is going to be old school 10 Commandments, Ben-Hur type epic approach to it, which Nolan has kind of always come close to being. Like, I would say that there's epic elements in Interstellar, in Inception, certainly in Tenet, and I think this is him going full on old school 1960s epic, massive scope type of movie. And so I love it. I'm R-rated. Bring it on.
Bring it on. I can't wait. And this could be, I mean, the guy's still, I mean, what is he? Not even, he's 50, was he 55, 56 years old? I don't know how old he is. He can't be 60 yet, whatever, or maybe he is. But still, 60 for a director is young. I'm going to guess and say 57.
He is 54.
54? 54. That is young. That is for a director. Yeah. He's making, I loved his answer. I saw some short. Someone said, they give him like 10 rapid fire questions. He's like, are you going to stop making movies soon? He's like, no. Within seconds. Within seconds. No. He loves it. It's his blood.
I'm not terrible.
The guy bleeds film.
Yeah.
He loves it. And I love him for that. Yeah. I didn't realize, I saw something because, I've been on, I told you I've been on this Michael Mann heat kick lately.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that Nolan, hosted a panel with De Niro, Pacino, and Michael Mann talking about Just Heat?
Yes. That was, I remember that one just a few years ago, and
it was like 9 years ago.
And I remember that. I think it's happened. Did it happen I think it happened in LA.
I think so. I think this theater looked familiar.
That shit sold out in like seconds.
Might have. Yeah, must have.
I remember
it. Even listening to him like as the narrator, and he's asking like such like complex like directing questions, and Pacino at one point goes, I worked with you before, so I think I know what you're saying. It's like, I had a great time, by the way. And he goes into this whole thing. He's talking. He's like, it was great. It was fun to see, but you can tell.
Omnia.
Come on. Me and Robin Williams.
I loved him. Rob.
What's next? Hilary Swank. Bring it on. Okay. But there's tons of fun moments from it. But just to see how much of a fan in general he is of that stuff.
He loves movies. And he loves like the right movies when you watch him talk about stuff. And he's so intelligent about film. See, and that's a guy that has a massive ego and doesn't have to show you his ego all the time and doesn't have to do things that make you
he's not running a brand, dude. He's not running a full brand.
He's running the Michael Mann. He's running the Christopher.
He's running the Nolan brand, sure. But he's not running a. Come on. Who do you give more crap to? Him or The Rock?
James
Gunn or The Rock?
I expect more from Gunn, so I'll give him more crap than The Rock. I still listen for all my stuff. I still love that man. There's a new YouTube channel that compiles all the Rock stuff from years ago, and I will go do wormholes and watch the Rock stuff. I miss that Rock so much, and it's when you watch that stuff, it's really hard to believe that this is the guy that's going to be this global power in the world of entertainment. It is really incredible to see how fast he exploded once he got on the scene. And I hope they do a documentary one day, like a real incisive 6-hour documentary on his journey, and like not produced by the WWE, produced by somebody else,
right?
Not produced by $7. Somebody else who's really
dude. I think he's gonna turn it around with the Smashing Machine.
Yeah, hopefully, because there's he signed up for another independent film as well recently. Yeah, so yeah, I hope he does.
I'm excited for that one. Okay, guys, thoughts? The Nolan Odyssey film, should it be rated R or no? You're risking it here. I don't think anyone's going to say you are, but go ahead. If you do think that, why? Put it in your thoughts. Put it in the live section. Put it in the replay. But put it in the clips channel, man. I know a lot of times people will come in and go, wait a minute, what's going on with the time codes? Clips channel. We're almost at 11,000 subscribers. Now that those clips are starting to pop. We just had one recent, 40,000. You guys watched the Superman clip out that we did. That's more than the actual episode itself did. So go and check those out, because there's certain things we're going to clip out all this stuff, but you got to subscribe to it. Right around the corner from 11,000. Go hit that button. John, I told you. I think people want you to get the win. I've been telling you that.
Whoa, what's going on?
We're starting the questions. You're at 66 before you even start.
Whoa.
You're crushing right now. I'm telling you, people want you to get the win. I'm telling you.
Very cool.
Before we get to the questions, please tell us what's going on in the channel.
I need someone to take out Crystal and PLD this week so they don't donate anymore to anybody else. I'm just joking. You can come find me on the channel, youtube.com/John Rocha says. It is the Outlaw Nation for now, but I will be announcing that it is changing its name in July. So that will be coming soon. Some great new graphics have already popped up on the channel. You guys have seen the new Hot Mic graphics, new Spill the Tequila graphics, new Geek Buddies graphics, all of that happening slowly but surely. And there'll be some new graphics on my end as well for the stuff we're doing. So come and hang out with us, man. We're so close to crossing 40,000, working our way to 50. Would love for y'all to come hang out and see some great content and some great breakdowns of all the stuff that's happening in the world of entertainment. There, youtube.com/John Rocha says. Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's get into it here as we start the week, starting off strong, as Rocha has been making everybody jump on their feet here in the Cape of Dallas, guys. The only ones so far to be able to take the Outlaw out. Can they do it this week? We shall see. But we're going to start again as we have the 68. We're going to start, speaking of heat, Ralph. Oh, Rocha, I know how you feel now with people you grew up loving, like Hulk Hogan. I just caught watching the camp episode because of Robin is racist and Islamic pro war tweets, retweets. I used to be a fan. I don't know enough about
I don't either.
There, so,
but I love Robert. I love R&B, and I know he's an outspoken person, and I think in a world full of people that don't speak out in this punditry space, I appreciate R&B for doing that. So I'm never going to talk ill of that. So yeah.
He said, sorry, I used to have fun questions. Now it looks like I just complained. The world sucks right now, and finding everyone's true colors is too much. Well, I would say the world sucks right now is kind of fair with everything going on. But yeah, hang in there, Ralph. We do miss your happy questions and your happy stuff, but I get it. You
got to find your balance, Ralph, because trust me, you know how I feel about this stuff. So you got to find your balance, though, brother.
Tim, I'm not a Gunn fan either. His humor style is awful. Sometimes I think it works. Sometimes I think
you don't like teeth against the camera frame? You don't like teeth?
I'm really hoping. I loved Ed Harrell's suggestion. I loved it. I told you this last week.
That it's a drone or something.
If it's a drone or it's a media camera that's filming it, and then it hits the thing, I love it.
It probably is.
I hope that's what it is. That would be great. I love that. I actually do like his humor. I think that
I like his stuff.
Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. I love Guardians 3, Guardians 1. A lot of the stuff. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, Chris. Keep going.
Please.
I was saying again, I love his projects. I like the stuff that he does. Love Peacemaker, love the Guardians movies. 3, yes, I liked, or sorry, 2, yes, I liked, but not quite as strongly as the other 2.
Yes.
But I have enjoyed James Gunn's work for years. It's just the PR campaign around this stuff that I have the issues with, just like The Rock. It's just when you start to lie to the audience or finagle facts to make it fit your narratives that I get a little upset about it. That's all.
I'll tell you what I'm upset about is that I cut myself shaving. That's what I'm upset about. You know why I did it?
First time. Are you leading to an ad now? Are you doing an ad?
No. First time I've been clean shaven in probably in like, it's got to be a couple of years now. Because 2 reasons why I did it. Let's see if you can guess. Let's see if you can guess.
Yeah.
Can you guess any one of the reasons, John?
Do you want me to keep it PG rated?
Yeah, because the answer is PG. So whatever else you stupid thing you're going to say isn't. No.
Just saying, you want a pleasure without tickling. I would say you've got a photo shoot coming up, maybe.
You're not far off from that one. You're not far off from it, but you're not far off.
Are you going on TV to do
it's not far off.
Okay.
Not far off. The first part of it is that I finally, like I said, I've been going to the gym and stuff.
Yes.
Because when you have a beard, it doesn't show the big fat face that I have.
Cover up with
you can cover up the big fat face. I don't have the big fat face right now, so I can take it off. That's part 1. Part 2 is I've been mentioning that I'm writing a pilot with my and I looked at what Chris Stuckman was doing with Shelby Oaks and everything too, and you got to give him tons and tons of props. And he raised like 1.3 million or something.
He did,
I'm not going to need that much to produce a pilot for a television. We want to get it around like the looking like a Netflix Hulu type show. That's the goal. The pilot's a 28 minute pilot. So one of the things I'm experimenting with, because I have to do a flashback scene.
Yeah.
Where you got to look younger. So I was like, okay, we'll go younger, but I'm also going to probably need somebody to do a little deep fake. We'll see if that happens. But
wait. You're writing the pilot and putting yourself in it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you directing it too?
No.
Oh,
I'm not directing. I don't.
All right, James Gunn Jr.
Directing. No, I would lose my mind if I did that. Produced, but it's going to be. So I've been experimenting. So there you go. So people are asking, but I cut myself shaving like a moron. Carlton Rudder, London Calling. As you read this, I will be watching F1 in IMAX. Finish Shrinking. Season 2, superb comedy and very touching. We'll catch the show tomorrow. You saw F1 as well, John. You like it?
I did. I liked it. It's not Top Gun Maverick. Just so we're clear, it's not Top Gun Maverick. It tries to be, but it doesn't quite get there. That being said, though, I like Pitt in the movie. I like Damson Idris in the film, Kerry Condon, and the racing scenes are spectacular. So seeing it, the storyline stuff isn't as strong as what you got in Top Gun Maverick. Yeah.
Seeing that tomorrow, seeing Jurassic World on Wednesday. When are you seeing Megan, by the way?
Tomorrow night. Megan is tomorrow night.
I could not pass off F1 again. So
of course not. No.
So Megan part 2, I'm gonna wind up having to do a reaction with Tina.
Dude, can I tell you what happened to my screen? I know we go a little time. Real quick. I went to an F1 screening here in San Diego. Now the publicists here in San Diego like me. I've done good stuff and talk with them, and I'm always very cordial, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, the guys know, or the people know by now, that like I only like to sit in the aisle seats because sometimes I have to use the restroom. I don't want to step over people. I'm self-conscious about my size, So they're very kind. So they put my name tag on an aisle seat. I go to sit down in the row where they told me that I was in. And by the way, they put me in seat F1 for F1, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah.
I walk in, some other guy is sitting in my seat. He has moved my name off to another seat and put his name there. Another critic. No. Here in San Diego, and I was like, "What the hell?" And so I walked up. I was like, "Hey, buddy, I think you're in my seat." He's like, "Oh, you really still need the aisle seat?" I go, "Well, yeah." They took my name, they put it in there. All right, fine. He grumpily grabbed his sign and moved over and left the seat open. And when I sit down, and I find out this guy is like one of the guys at the San Diego Film Critics Society. Okay. And then the next day I find out that I wasn't accepted into the society for that.
Oh, really?
Are you kidding me, man? Are you effing kidding me, man?
So politics, man.
I know. It was
seat.
Yeah, I mean, some of these critics are such sensitive little babies, man. Hilarious. It just drives me nuts.
I don't care about any of that stuff. It's hilarious. Big Bang, OT4. Should they recast Luke for the Filoni movie? If he calls for it, if they call for Luke, yeah, they should.
We should all be recast. Enough with it. Enough with holding on to that stuff.
Yeah, you should absolutely. I mean, because at that point, if you're not gonna go with the deep fake stuff like you did, and you want to go past, yes, then recast the role and make it a big headline. It'll be a huge headline.
Yeah.
Make it a big. Get the right person.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to actually do a Thrawn Zahn Thrawn trilogy, or make it the Heir to the Empire story, you need Luke.
Yeah,
you got what the
you got to do it.
It's the same reason. This is why it would drive me nuts, because I hated that, because I know this is a mandate that came from Kathleen Kennedy. Stop using Luke. Ridiculous and an awful decision, because of the same reason. Not only did everyone tune in that episode when he showed up in Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Because of course, it's Luke Skywalker. No, because it made sense. Who's going to show up to pick up this Yoda species? and it's going to be Luke. In the same way that all of this stuff is going down on this Thanos level that they talked about that it was supposed to happen, and Luke doesn't show up. Well, then it further diminishes the character of Luke Skywalker, that he's a lazy load doing nothing.
It's this idea that we need to be hamstrung for not recast. Like, it's nonsense. There's so many great stories to tell with Luke and Leia and Han, that not recasting or limiting that because you don't want to recast is nonsense. Just recast. Let's move forward. Yeah, grow up.
75 so far, John. Crush 75 with 50 minutes to go.
Come on.
You might be able to. I mean, you got to set the stage for those guys to catch up. Jay Anderson, Gunn has retracted, spun, and lied in more statements than politicians. He is not in control at all. He will do whatever to make Gunn look good. I just found out something.
What's that?
Jay Anderson is John Rocha's pseudonym.
That's right. That's what I've been doing during the commercial breaks.
Sending in super chats to help yourself.
I even chose that avatar to look more manly than me. So I chose someone to look completely different than I do.
Well, look, he seems to be on your page there.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I know there's a very loud minority of people who come after me, but there are people in the comments section of the videos who agree with me and see the things that I'm seeing. So,
all right. Ryan Ranger, hope you two are doing well today. Thank you. Just curious who some of your favorite, not best, directors are. Some of my favorite are Fincher, Villeneuve, Nolan, Scorsese, Kurosawa. Thanks so much. Love as always. Well, I would put all of those in there, and I would also put Spielberg, obviously, Tarantino.
Yeah.
Those are some that pop in there. John, you probably have a few more.
Well, I think it's hilarious. The question is, what are some of your favorite directors? And they list like 5 of the greatest directors and also his favorite directors. So I would have to add Orson Welles, because I love Orson to pieces and always will. I think Danny Boyle is a fantastic director. I thoroughly enjoy seeing his stuff. Greta Gerwig is becoming appointment viewing for me as a director. Who else? Those are the Tarantino, of course, and Spielberg. Yeah, you can't deny Spielberg, man. He's one of the greatest. Yeah. So, and I think Stanley Kramer and Billy Wilder are two, if you're going back to classics. I love those guys. Yeah.
John Rocha writes, that shot he didn't like was literally the first footage you released. What do you mean you didn't like it? Lead with the best foot forward. I can't say Anderson.
I agree. It's such a bullshit statement for him to be like, oh, that one slipped by me. I can't pay attention to everything. You are a notorious micromanager. Are you telling me that somehow this one got by you? No. You listened to the criticism, you adjusted it.
Which is, I wish you would have said that. I wish
the color grading has been adjusted because people complain about how too gray it looked.
I wish you would have said that. I wish you would have said,
just be honest.
Look, guys, because we talk about the test screenings all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like the test screenings are there to get feedback. We're like, look, we put that shot out there. I looked at it and I said, yeah, it was a wide angle lens, and I thought it looked cool at first. And then after looking at everything you guys said, I get it. We're gonna do some adjustments to it. I think everyone will be like, oh, that's cool.
Right. It doesn't mean you're beholden to the fans. It means something didn't radiate with the fans. You have enough time to fix it, and then you're going to fix it.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think people appreciate truth so much more than spin. Yeah. But there are people who just adhere to this thought process that never admit you're wrong, and it's just so disgusting.
Well, here's someone who doesn't agree with you. Crashing Coyote says Rocha has been misquoting Gunn. How many times he's called James a liar for actors not always being same in games, movies, TV? Gunn never said that.
He did say that. He said that the actors were going to cross over multiple media, and if I cast someone in an animated film, I'm going to try to put him into the live action stuff. That's why you're getting Frank Grillo as what's his face's dad.
Like Senior,
yeah. So he did say that in the opening thing. You're just not going back and finding the quote, and you can do that. It's not that difficult. So,
all right, Joe Hendo TV. I'm not entirely caught up with the Star Wars stuff. I love the OG trilogy and I like the prequels, but I feel like Disney is milking the franchise. I don't think they have a lock on the franchise as much as it's Disney. And this is the other thing. I always say this when it comes to this, and this is nothing to do with Joe. People say this all the time. I think that Disney, as you mentioned, is trying to get anything out of the franchise. I think that Lucasfilm is mishandling the franchise. They can't say they're milking it because I mean, what have they put out? They haven't put a movie out since 2019. Lucas, because and this is the thing we say all of the time. What you'll never hear is, man, Endgame was awesome. What a great movie. Disney did a great job with that. But when it fails, they go, oh, Disney dropped the ball. Terrible movie.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you give Marvel the props on it. Disney gave them money for it. Thanks, Disney, for giving them money and having whatever executives in there to give their thoughts. Great. Thanks a lot. Hey, you guys shouldn't have gotten as involved as much as you did. Blah, blah. But Marvel's making the moves on the movies that they're making.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm is the one coming up with their, hey guys over at Disney, this is our slate. This is what we want to do. Great. How much is it going to cost? What do you need? Great. We can't give you that much. We can give you this. That's what they say. The creative and all that comes from Lucasfilm.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. They always, everybody, and this is Disney, Universal, Warner Brothers, Zaslav. He's dropping the ball. Zaslav is giving the money and say, okay, you guys want this, and this. There are people that get involved and they give their input, and they certainly do. And what they will do, which is certainly a thing. Hey, so-and-so is we saw that you guys, that new movie that you guys want to do, we saw that you're putting this person in. No one knows who that is. We want you to put that person in because people want them. We have a deal with them. That happens. And that could be a way to get themselves involved creatively in a bad way. That happens.
Yep. Good answer. Got nothing to add to that. Good answer.
Crash and Coyote. Gunn said, me and Peter's job is to make DC in movies and gaming connected. Then 5 minutes later, when he talks about it, Commandos, he goes, usually characters play the same roles in animation now. Usually.
Okay, Crashing, let me read you the quote, the actual quote. What this means
between the coyote and the outlaw.
This is James Gunn. What this means, and I've shot many coyotes. What this means in practical terms is that our characters can move in and out of animation or jump into the game or onto the big screen, but they will remain consistent throughout. Same character, same history, capital letters, same actor. So that's what he actually said. Now, no surprise, he's been massaging this statement ever since, because that I can't always consistently be the plan going forward because of actors availability, actor scheduling, changes in release dates, production dates being pushed back, those are things. So when he initially came out, he did say that, and it was a ridiculous thing for him to say when he said it, and a lot of people called him out for it because of those things. And then eventually he did relent and hasn't always cast the same actor to play these things. So you can cherry pick the quotes that you want, but this is the actual quote that he delivered at the time. So, I love the capital letters though. Respect.
Derek Johnson giving 10 memberships. Derek, I said,
Derek is the best.
He's trying to get every single person in this chat as a member. Every time Big Bang OT4. Should they make a new trilogy set 100 years ago after the sequel? Also, would it be a good idea for future Jedi Grandmasters to carry on Skywalker name? So I'm John shaking his head.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Yes, but don't make them a main character. It's like Johnson. No, to Derek, it's his last name. There's a lot of Johnsons out there.
There's
a lot of, he's Skywalker. He's got the lineage, but he's just, he's there. He or she, they're there.
Why is Skywalker the end all be all of Jedis? There was many Jedis before Skywalker's. There'll be Jedis after
it's
Skywalker.
Clearly a common name though, because Luke Skywalker is in the original trilogy, and they don't know it's Anakin's kid,
right?
Because he's just Skywalker.
Just like Skywalker is like Smith or Jones.
Yeah, because it's like it has to be. Otherwise, I mean, come on. It's like his son. They didn't hide him very well. We're gonna hide you. You're gonna keep your last name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, Kinberg's trilogy might be set 100 years ago or 100 years before. I don't know. It's going to be wide open with Kinberg's trilogy, I think.
Yeah. Derek Johnson, 10 more memberships.
Look at that.
People.
Thank you, Derek.
The chat is littered with new members, and what a time to do it. Whether it's the Capes and Cows Comic, the live streams we have going on, the unedited reactions, good time to be there. Crash and Coyote usually land all the time. For example, the hot pick is Hot Mike. Maybe
that's what
usually.
This guy's so angry, he can't even type correctly.
But last week it was Friday. So do we get to call you a liar now?
What he means by it's so this kind of logic.
I love this beef, by the way. It's one of my favorite things going on.
I just feel bad. Crash, do you need BetterHelp is a place you should turn to, man. It will help you deal with your anger and help you process it correctly. Trust me, because if you're typing so fiercely that you can't spell well, you've got to really find some help, mother.
And the answer is yes. John's a filthy liar. All right, Cornet Emperor.
Yeah, totally.
Love you, John. Slow your roll with the James hate.
Yeah, people. I don't hate. Again, I'm
calling something out. You can see where people could take that though, and reason why, like, because it does. Look, you go. I know you too well. When you
hate Kathleen Kennedy, do you hate Kathleen Kennedy?
I don't go around on, but dude, no. When I'm talking about her on a topic, I'll bring up. You tweet about the guy all the time. Every other topic is about him right now because he's relevant on what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. Because he's relevant. Yeah,
for sure. But like, I think it's a little bit more than one topic of where I think, like I said, and you can disagree with me. That's fine. I'm just like I said. I just think, like, for me, Kathleen Kennedy is like the bad coach that just isn't working. Right? There are more things to the gun riff with you at the moment. It seems.
Yeah, because I think with Kathleen, there's a different situation, right? And with James, I sense that there's, for me, it's always about, I don't know, it scratches a little thing for me because I see him as a guy who's got more responsibility on his shoulders, but he's reverting to being like a regular director, and you're not. You have more responsibility on your shoulders running a studio. So there's a certain kind of way that you need to be addressing things and talking about things that I think he's not doing. He's playing convenient director he's playing director when it's convenient, and he's playing studio head when it's convenient. And I think that's where my issue is. And I'm calling it out because I expect better from someone like this in this position. And you might say, who the F are you, Rocha? And that's fine. But I have an opinion just like you have an opinion. And so I'm just calling out these certain things. And it's not hate. I really hate that word, honestly, because I think calling someone out is not hate. You're trying to say, hey, man, be aware of this, or hey, person, be aware of this.
Yeah. I mean, I saw people say, like for me, like, again, I've talked to Filoni. I think Filoni's a very nice person.
Yeah.
Filoni's a great guy. I just don't think he's the right guy for the job. People like, I don't get that Filoni hate. No, you don't understand what the word means. If you say that,
just buzzwords they need to use to
explain. So you're just overusing that word. SJC 360. What certain demos being packed in my eyes? How much will the box office be lost by July big movies? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it, but it's a good question. I mean, no idea.
Latinos were 40% of returning audience for film for the last 20 years. But
sure, but that number doesn't mean illegal people who have been that could be citizens of the country also.
Well, of course, I'm not saying in it. I'm just saying that Latinos overall, whether there are people who've come across the border illegally or not, to me, this is a situation where I look at it go like, well, how many people? So I don't think they're arresting or putting away as many people that would affect the box office overall. So I would have to say they are affecting the demo that usually goes in at higher numbers more than any other race. And you can look it up more than any other ethnicity. Latinos go to the theater more than any ethnicity consistently. And so it's like this situation you look at, I don't think it's affecting it, but if it keeps going at these numbers, we may see something in the next couple of years. So
Derek Johnson, I think Gunn is the wrong leader for this. Saffron is invisible, and James talks and walks into contradictions a lot, and he covers it up with sideway talk. DCU needs a smooth hand. Again, I'm going to say the same thing I said to John, to you, Derek, who I love. You gotta wait to see how the movie does, because you will not, if you go to see that movie.
But the movie is irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. It's the furthest thing from irrelevant.
I think it's good. I'll tell you this. I'll concede to you that it's going to be a great movie, but the buildup has still been clumsy and awkward and full of double talk.
That doesn't mean he's the wrong leader. That doesn't mean he's the wrong leader. If you hit a home run with this, and your game plan of what you're going to do is working, I told you as much. I think sometimes he needs to step back from social media and just chill. I don't disagree with that. But I can't say if he's the wrong leader yet. I like what he's been doing so far, and I want to see what the movie is. I want to see how Supergirl does. I want to see what the Lantern show is like. I want to see what the new Batman is. What's this Wonder Woman thing? I like the plan. Like, and as again, like I don't want to just pile up on Star Wars, but I don't know what the plan is over there. It's like, oh, we might have a trilogy. We're not going to have a trilogy. We're not having a trilogy.
I don't know what the plan is. DC. We don't know what we're doing with Batman. We're just writing Wonder Woman. We don't know who's going to be our Wonder Woman.
He never said that though. That's
I guess, but we're going to do a page 1 rewrite. Sergeant Rock, we're going to do it. Nah, we changed our mind. We're not going to do it. There's no plan here either, man. That's an illusion.
All right. I don't know. I think it seems like there's a plan, but you have a little bit more of the insight, so I'm not gonna battle you on that one. Tim Sim, as someone who loved the first 2 sequel trilogy films, sue me. I hope the delay builds on the Rey film and other sequel trilogy characters with hope. Hopefully Andor level creative execution, because I want to see it. He's got another one coming up soon. Yes, listen, I hope it does, but unfortunately, like I said, Tim, and this is again not to pile up. If Dave Filoni gets the keys to the castle, you will never see Andor stuff again.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're never going to see that if he does. You're right. Because Carrie Beck is, essentially him as a female version. Like it really is. Like, and I'm not trying to denigrate Carrie. I'm just saying they share the same philosophy.
And I love Rebels and I love Clone Wars, but you're just going to see cartoons come to life. That's all you're going to see. And again, when it comes to, there's a way to do that when you can adapt animation and build out. You've got to build it out, and you've got to build things in a way that you look at building out video games. You look at the first season of Last of Us and the way they expanded on that and wrote a really great season of television built off of what was already a great story. The problem is that he's very similar to Lucas. He's a very good storyteller.
Yeah.
Terrible screenwriter, not a great dialogue writer at all. And
Agreed.
Buster Barnes. Yes, how dare they not cast Clayface prematurely so he could voice 5 words in Creature Commandos? Some people got to get off Gunn's nuts.
Yes, how dare they not cast Clayface prematurely? So, but I was told they have a plan. That's what he told us, right? Buster, he said he had a plan going forward, and you could argue that Creature Commandos being the first thing he was putting out, that lays the groundwork for your plan. So if he knew ahead of time that this is where they were going and this was going to be the plan, then to make a comment like that, you've got to follow it up with your first. Thanks, babes. We followed up with your first. I'm good. Yeah, thanks. Son. With your first. I'm thirsty as hell, so she brought me in.
Please don't call me babe ever again. Thank you.
But you got to follow it up with your first project, laying the groundwork for what your philosophy is going forward. So you can scoff and say, "How dare they?" and all of that nonsense. But the truth is, he said it. And this was his first project coming out of the gate in the new DCU that he's representing. So he should have adhered to the things that he said.
93. Wow. With half an hour to go. John, you might be able to really put the guys on their toes this week if they keep doing this. Go, pal. Can't stick around, but support.
Thank you. Go, pal.
Joe Hendo TV. I love Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I'm actually looking forward to Superman. Every trailer and TV spot was winning me over. I love this comment.
Yeah.
Because it just shows you that you don't have to be on one side.
Agreed.
Yeah, I love those movies. I think this is the same philosophy that Mike Kalinowski has, which I love.
Yeah. I like the Donner ones. I like the Snyder one, and I'm looking forward to this. I really am looking forward to the Superman. I hope it works. I want it to work.
Yeah. James Gunn.
Oh no.
What do you and Snyder want from me? A cookie? Let my balls breathe a little bit. Love that. I really hope that's him. I really hope that's him.
What's your obsession with balls, James? Or nuts, right? Yeah.
James, if it's really you, next time do it 100 so I know it's you. Go, pal. Gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Oh, that's good. Crashing Coyote. Rocha just said that Feige doesn't insert himself in this stuff. Oh, please. Go rewatch that She-Hulk finale. Like, what? I love you, Rocha, but come on, man. I don't disagree with that.
But that's such a
robot.
Yeah, well, that's such a cherry picking thing of one thing. And what was it? It was a robot that was making fun of himself. He was making fun of him or trying to. Yes, it was a terrible idea. It didn't work, but he was doing it to make fun of himself and what people have said about him going forward. And one thing in one show you're going to compare to multiple examples, I think is fascinating. But all right.
Yeah, we're a different page here, me and you. Matt Martinez, does Iger go Jerry Jones on Filoni and give him max 3 years and a short leash. Iger likes to be involved. Choosing decor in WD hotels to giving notes on Black Panther to Coogler, he should also take some blame. Well, I don't know if he's going to be around for that much longer. Is he? How long is Bob
Iger? No, Iger's supposed to. This was only supposed to be just to help them transition to someone else.
Right.
We haven't heard anyone else that they're really looking at.
True. Maybe just sticks around and says the hell with it. You can't give Filoni and Carey that much room. You can't. You got because they don't have enough experience. You got to say, look, James Gunn again and Peter Safran, who both of those two, film wise, have more experience than Carey Beck and Dave Filoni. Yeah. So, and they only got a 3-year deal or whatever, 3 or 4 year deal, whatever it might be. So you can only give them like a 3-year deal and see, because if you start making Ahsoka movies and they eat piles of dog shit, it's like, you got to go. Take your hat and go back to animation. That's what, but the flip side is he turns around and says, shut those stupid idiots up on that Monday show.
Yeah.
And watch what I do. I'm actually really good at this. I'm going to prove myself here. I'm going to run this shop. I've always wanted to run it. I'm going to run it with my friend Carey Beck. And I just made some of the best Star Wars movies that have ever been out. I'm going to go, boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
Look at the movie. I'll say the same thing I'm saying to you about James Gunn. I think it's a good plan. Look at what Dave Filoni and Carey Beck just did. They just, and I'll say it. I'll go, look, I was the biggest critic of the two of them taking over. And boy, was I wrong. The movies, it felt about as pure Star Wars as I ever even thought it could be. And they crushed and they made money. Of course, I'll say that. I'm not going to go, and I want, who doesn't root for these things if you're a fan of it?
You have to root for these things.
You got to.
Yeah.
Mike Joyce, it's amusing how people get so bent out of shape on John's thoughts on James Gunn. A lot like another group. Should we call Rocha haters mad CGA? Sure. No problem.
I don't compare. I would never compare it to. That's a whole nother ball. That's a whole nother thing. But I do think that the Gunn Bros are getting to the Snyder Bros level. I absolutely think that. And some of the comments on some of the Hot Mic episodes have been toxic as F.
But is that the Gunn?
The guts. I think they're getting just as antsy, and where is that born from? Yes, sometimes it's born from defending the person, but it's also born from deep down, they're right. So it makes you angry that you chose the wrong side. And so people come and just spew their vitriol about this kind of stuff. I mean, I've been called everything under the sun over the last few weeks on how much, but Jeff seems to escape scrutiny, but they come after me. It's funny as hell, man.
Jeff?
Yeah. I don't know. An occasional Jeff comment, and then
I've never seen a comment about Jeff that wasn't scrutiny.
That's
SJC 360. Elio was a pawn chess piece by the mouse to undercut How to Train a Dragon. Well, it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work at all.
Didn't work at all. Tim Sim. Also, hope everyone gets through each day at a time. Well, especially given the events of last weekend, that I will not say. And I hope F1, which I'll see, and other films keep escapism going despite the recent dark cloud of fear. It's a very, very well thought out and sweet comment, Tim. And I hope, and I guess same thing. We're entering the sweet spot in July, man. You got 3 huge, big blockbuster movies coming out. That it's fun to be a movie fan right now.
We've got The Bear coming. We've got Ironheart coming. We've got Star Trek: Strange New Worlds coming. Like July is the end of June and July are just stacked with stuff.
So we can't talk about Ironheart yet.
I haven't seen them yet. I have them tomorrow. Have you seen them?
I've seen the first 3, and so Sam and I watched the first 3. We're actually going to release our social media reaction to that tonight.
That's right.
And then our full-on review reaction will come out for the first 3 episodes will be tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. Derek Johnson, call it Rocha derangement syndrome. For those fans who can't jump off Rocha, his balls.
Ooh, I like that. RDS.
There you go.
I like that. All right.
Yeah, use it. Cisco Frisco, 4-time strongman Brian Shaw should be Bane in the DCU. Can he act? It's like anytime someone brings up like Jade Cargill as Storm, she looks just like Storm. I wouldn't want her anywhere near it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want her anywhere near. I don't care how much she campaigns from her entrances. I want her nowhere near Storm. She looks just like her.
Batista could be Bane. Batista would be interesting to be Bane. Batista.
He's too. I think he's too small now. He lost a lot of the, and I think that I feel like, don't quote me on this, but I feel like Josh Horowitz asked James Gunn about Batista playing Bane, and he said it's too at this point in time it wouldn't make sense, and he wouldn't want to play him at this point in time.
I think Josh watches this show, but I want to give him love for his interview with Gary Oldman. It was such an enjoyable interview. Such an enjoyable interview.
He's the best. Yeah, I speak to him quite often. And he's
so jealous of Josh's success.
He's a great guy. Ryan Harper, hilarious for Rocha to say Gunn as an ego, considering he's one of the most obnoxious egos I've ever seen, even though he gets 1 to 3K videos.
Look, I take it. It's okay. I take that kind of stuff, and I understand that. But I'm making a living doing the thing that I love, buddy. And I make my money, and I make good money every month doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You keep watching the stuff I'm on. You keep criticizing it. I don't care. I'm still making money, and I don't have an obnoxious ego. I'm a passionate person about the things that I believe in and things I don't like. And I am not ashamed to speak my mind. Now, if that bothers you, that's your problem, not mine, buddy. So
he really does remind me, this is why I love doing, I mean, I've always loved doing shows with you in general, but it does bring out that like Skip Bayless type of thing that you got going on. You know what? And I think it should be encouraged. Like, this is what I love about John. You don't give a shit if you like him or not.
I don't actually. Yeah.
But that's I like that in the fact that it's like, look, you and I, that's what we built this show off. Yeah. We don't have to agree with each other all the time. Like, we don't agree on the James Gunn stuff at all, but we can discuss it. And that's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Is to, instead of like, the last guys, you cannot insult, you could have made your point better without insulting John and everything else too that he's doing. But I think that the point is, you should have healthy discussions in how you bring these things about. And I find it entertaining, like the stuff that John doesn't see eye to eye with me on, so I can go back and forth and we have that kind of conversation. I love it.
Yeah. And I have many videos on the channel that have done, 40 to 50 to 60, 70,000 views. So he's nitpicking some of the trailer reactions, and people don't come to my channel fully for trailer reactions. So they'll get those kinds of views. If Kristian had his way, he would turn me into a full YouTuber, but I'm not always inclined to lean that way. So that's the issue that I deal with all the time. So, but hate all you want, but those hot mic videos and those Geek Buddy views do just fine. So
there you go. Dingus McNally, what is your guys' prediction for the domestic opening weekend for box office for F1 this weekend? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a good question. What is the F1?
35, 40?
I mean, you would think better. Yes. You would think 60, but
maybe. Look, race car driving is a lot bigger than I even give it credit.
F1 is massive.
It's huge. It's huge. And that's what I've said this many times over.
Okay.
I don't know if I've watched 3 minutes of NASCAR or anything else in my lifetime. Yeah. I love race car movies. I love them. I love them. Like I absolutely love them. So
because it's coming out the same weekend as Megan 2.0, and that's a horror that a lot of
different audience.
Yeah.
Sports movie too. So
I would say 50 to 60. And if it does better than that, that's amazing.
That's a big number. I'm gonna say 40. I'm gonna say 43. 43. Derek Johnson coming back in, gifted 10 memberships here. Again, we're at 109, John, with still 20 minutes left. 109. You had 113 last week. So can you do it? Jay Anderson, criticism of a product isn't hate. Like it or not, nobody will agree with something 100%. Losing your mind in a chat isn't going to induce change. Thank you, Jay. Very well said.
People are very, very angry, man.
Johnny Venerable, didn't vibe with Rocha while he was at Collider. I see now that it was the definition of being underutilized and misused. I love the content, bro. Keep killing it. See, look at that. There's some nice words there, John.
Can I speak on this? Thank you, John.
Of course.
It's very kind of you to say that. It was a tough time for me being there sometimes because I felt like I wanted to do more. And when I tried to do more, some of the people got upset with me trying to do more.
Not me.
I was just going to say some of the people encouraged me, and that was Kristian Harloff. But then at the end, I didn't want to do more because I was helping people that I didn't want to help. And in the end, what happened to me, although it was a shock and it kicked me in the ass, it was exactly what I needed to do what I'm doing now. And so to me, yes, I appreciate that, but I always believed I could do it. And Kristian believed in me, which was really kind of him. But I wanted to do more there so that I could get the experience to get better. And that wasn't necessarily the best place for me to do that at the time. It's also obviously in a different management, different things now. But but thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. And thanks for watching my stuff.
Derek Johnson, 10 more memberships. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Derek, a lot of memberships now because of Derek Johnson. Stick around too. Don't just stick around past that. Go past that month. It'll be way worth it. Mike Joyce, Spike in 28 years sucked. No, he was great. He was so dumb and he made horrible decisions. No, he was great. I hope the Alpha takes head off in the next one. He can take head off with his penis.
No, I think Spike's our protagonist all the way through these 3 films, right? It just seems like that's what they're setting up. Yeah.
The Alpha is running around with a sword in between his legs.
Oh my God. That guy was incredible. I love that.
That was pretty scary. Buster Barnes. I love the hypocrisy from those who jump to Rocha's defense, but if some of us dare defend Gunn, we are sycophants and can't get off his balls.
No, what? I don't understand that.
He's basically saying that if they protect you, what's the difference from them protecting Gunn?
Well, the difference is Gunn doesn't need your protection. We're not equals.
No. He's saying in the chat. He's saying the protection, your protection from him.
Gotcha. But this idea of some of us dare to defend, you're not daring to defend Gunn. Defending the popular person, there's no daring in that at all. It's a false construction that you've got in your presentation here. But you are allowed to defend anybody that you want, but it's not daring to defend the person in charge, for God's sakes. That's like saying I'm daring to defend Kathleen Kennedy. That's nonsense. Yeah.
Jay Anderson, the Kristian Harloff Show with Rocha is the best show of the week. There you go, Jay.
I did send that one in, actually.
Yeah, I figured. Dingus McNally, support for Rocha's content. Keep killing it, Outlaw. There you go. You got a lot of support today, John.
Thank you, Dingus.
Draws Walker.
Hey.
Some support for Rocha. Look at this. See?
Always love you, Draws. Thank you, dude.
Armada. If third 28 years happen, over under 40% Garland directs. Ooh.
I think it would be Danny and Killian. I don't think Garland directs.
For the third? You think Danny will come back to close it out?
I think Garland should have directed the second one. No offense to
Nia DaCosta.
Nia DaCosta, but I think Garland should have done the second one.
Agreed. Derek Johnson. I watched K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix, and I'm by no means your regular K-pop fan, but damn, I got to admit, I enjoyed the movie. I hear good things.
I hear good things from Wendy Lee and a lot of people who like that show, and it was #1 on Netflix, so they hit the right chord.
Okay. Let's see. Armada. I dig ATJ, but can't understand half of the stuff. Who?
Aaron Taylor Johnson. 28 years later, that deep accent is.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
I think it was a Yorkshire accent, but someone can correct me.
Yeah, it was strong. Sunday Joe, been watching Rocha since Collider. He's a great guy. There you go.
Thank you.
Derek Johnson. Anybody seen Ezra Miller lately? Is Ezra Miller doing anything?
Funny you say that. It came out today or yesterday. He was at the red carpet over the weekend, I think with Lynn Ramsey, and he said that he is tentatively exploring coming back to Hollywood. And I almost tweeted out going, I speak for a lot of people when I say we are tentatively wondering if you should. But yeah, this is the situation, and he's apparently working on a script with her, and so I think he's kicking the tires on coming back. So
all right. Matt Martinez, thoughts on Cena's punk bomb? So good. Crazy he dropped those names. Theory is that the initials of names he said are for Colt C and Young Bucks deep cut. I thought it was the best thing he's done so far.
100%.
He didn't seem like he was doing that mopey,
exactly.
Like I'm supposed to play a bad guy. It's like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna. He's really good at promos when he wants to do it, and this was great.
Yeah,
this
they finally let the horse out of the barn.
Yes. Yeah. And I think he got enough response. I think you're gonna start seeing his version. The question is, where in the world are they gonna have Night of the Champions? Where are they gonna have that?
I think they're still going to do it in Riyadh. I 100%
crazy. That is,
I know it is, but you know this business, Kristian. They don't care about the wrestlers as much as they say they care about the wrestlers.
Crazy.
If I was a wrestler, I would tell Triple H, I will wrestle in Riyadh when you bring your kids to Riyadh to attend the event. If you can bring your kids in the stadium, I'll be in the stadium. That's what I would tell.
I'm saying I'm not going. And good luck telling people that you fired me or suspended me because I said I'm not going.
Yeah.
And watch what happens. The kind of support I get.
This is why you need unions, man. Unions and wrestling.
Clean right alone. I'd be having. Hey, can anybody clean my shit out of my pants on the ride over? I'm looking at. I'm good. You guys can sleep on the ride. F you. You sleep. I'm looking out the window going, what the hell was that? What's that? It's lightning. No, it wasn't. It's, you know what I mean? No way. No chance.
Iran just launched missiles at the U.S. base in Qatar this morning, or Qatar this morning. And so, it's
that event.
I agree.
It. I don't care. I get it. You need money. Move it.
Move it.
Derek Johnson, Chicago. Support. Gene Bernst. Guys, let's talk about something good and important. Squid Game season 3 this Friday. Plus, do you guys remember the Only the Strong? If not, look it up. What is Only the Strong? What's that?
I think that's the Jake Gyllenhaal one where he was part of the where he was in the Boston bombing. Is that right?
Oh, is it really? That was a good one. Yeah, I don't.
Oh no, this is an old Mark Dacascos film.
Oh, okay.
In the 90s. I do not remember that one at all. Wow. Okay.
Derek Johnson.
Hey.
Gifted 10 more memberships. Thank you, Derek.
Wow.
Crushing. Oh, Dave Filoni's in the chat.
Hey.
I think Rocha hates Gunn more than you hate me. I don't hate you, Dave. You know I don't hate you. We had good conversations. You were very nice to me. I actually think you're a really nice guy. You're just not the guy for the. You should not be the king of the castle. There were plans for more Andor style projects, but I threw them all in the trash, and that's my point, Dave.
That's the best line. That's the best line.
Let's go. Derek Johnson. 10 more from Derek Johnson.
Wow.
Look at that. Perfect.
I need to start memberships if you're gonna do this.
10 more.
Jesus, Derek, I'm gonna start memberships.
Yeah. Amazing.
Also, teach me how to make money, Derek. That's amazing.
You haven't done memberships. It's a good way to kind of connect more to your community.
I know it's the next step, I think, for sure.
Reggie Brown.
Hey.
KD is the gun of NBA. You tweet to him, you may tweet back. Is that true?
He did. He did this morning with some people. He was going after one of the writers who had gone after him over the years. So yeah, KD don't play. And congratulations to Houston. I think it's a great trade for Houston.
I will say, look, I was thinking about this morning. I was about as much of a bitter Knicks fan as possible, but horrible what happened to poor Hell.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was. I think Bill Simmons said it best in his post-game podcast when he said, like, people are going to remember the Indiana Pacers this year. They're not going to remember the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the title. It's because Halliburton he had scored 9 points. He was ready.
He is just as annoying to me as Reggie Miller was back in the day. But great player, young player, solid player. Horrible thing to happen.
I think they would have won. He was feeling it, and even by the end of the game, he scored more 3-pointers. Even though he went out in the first quarter than any other.
Look, I'm not glad. I'm not upset that they didn't win. I'm just not happy that they did it with the poor guy blowing out his Achilles. Joe Hendo TV. I remember back in high school, my class watched the TV version of the Odyssey. The Nolan version is going to be peak. It's going to be the one that everyone remembers when you think of the Odyssey. That is going to be the standard. It's like that. Out of all the stuff they've ever done with the Odyssey, it's going to be that one that everyone remembers.
I remember the TV version. That was Armand Asante on NBC, Joe Hendo. I'm with you. That was a great adaptation.
119, John. 119.
Wow.
With 15 minutes to go.
That's very kind, everybody.
Can you get to the coveted 200 to put the guys on their toes and knock them in the ball?
Wow, 80 more? I would be shocked.
With 15 minutes left? You never know.
Let's do it.
Dingus McNally, are we looking at Odyssey being the third film to join the R-rated billion-dollar club with Joker and Deadpool and Wolverine? Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Depends on how long it is, but certainly possible.
I think it's very possible. I think now you've proven he's untouchable, Nolan, and I think he'll nail it. Yeah.
Oppenheimer made $900 million. Now I understand it was sandwiched in between Barbie, and that absolutely catapulted it.
Helped,
but it was still essentially a court movie.
Yeah,
that made almost, that was it, 2 hours and 30 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah,
and it made almost $1 billion. So yes, this will be a more exciting movie to people, and it will make $1 billion. Yes,
I think so.
Armada, better name, Imogen Poots or Allison Duty? Allison Duty killed me to this day, and she was very attractive.
Both very attractive.
Yeah, but did you see?
Yeah,
it was I gotta find it, but it was I think it was like a best of that we did. Ellis and I back and. Oh, I was in one of my moods, and we said Allison Duty, and it just the whole thing became a thing about Duty. It was so stupid. We started cracking up, and Ellis just looking at me like, I got to deal with this guy. He's like, all right. And then he stops and he goes, so I guess now it's my duty to tell you. And I just start losing it. Two idiots, like two 13-year-old idiots.
Oh, by the way, Imogen Poots is the daughter in the second 28 weeks later in that movie. So you guys don't know that she's great in that. And look, Mark Ellis, I got a bone to pick with you. He was on Jen Sturger's podcast, and Mark Ellis said, the Schmoedown, it was tough to do, and he was complaining about it and all this, and he's talking about, it's hard to shepherd big personalities. I love you, Mark Ellis, big personalities. You didn't reject the checks when you were getting them because big personalities were bringing views to those shows, damn it. So give some love to those of us big personalities who kept it afloat when we were doing it for free for 2 or 3 years.
Allow me to defend Mark Ellis. He's 100% right.
I know. I'm just
100%.
giving him shit. I'm just giving him shit. But I thought it was a great clip out.
It was a great clip.
He was like, I moved on. I don't know why people want to still go back to the Schmo. I was like, Mark, of course you moved on.
Yeah, the only thing I said, I'm like, as he was talking, I'm like, careful, because it's like there's a lot of stuff he did deal with, 100%.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
But Kristian Harloff,
there's a lot of stuff he did not deal with, and he would tell you.
Mark Ellis.
No, I love that. I love him so much. He really is. He's the best. Gene Bernst, watch Fubar. You're Arnold guys. True Lies vibes. I should probably check it out.
Okay.
Because I got to see it.
Yeah, him and Monica Barbaro.
Yeah. Sunday Joe, gents, would you consider a Comic-Con worth the trip? Which one? San Diego? Yeah, I think it's a one. Especially if you're into this space, you should absolutely. You should.
100%.
Yeah. New York, I can't. What's that, John?
I said just be ready when you go to Comic-Con because there is a lot of people. So if you have anxiety around a lot of people, prepare yourself.
Big party. It's a big geek party all the way through. Totally. It's great. Totally. Derek Johnson, we get over 200 today. I'll drop 40 memberships. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
So if we get to 200, if we get to 200 super chats, Derek Johnson is going to drop 40 more memberships to people. Yes, I'm bribing you, and I don't care. Everybody's always fighting Rocha. This time, I'm going to give him some straight report. Do you hear that? If somebody throws in a super chat to get Rocha to 200, Derek Johnson is going to throw in 40 more memberships. That's amazing. Wow. Haskell 420. What's up, guys? Myself and Sean McCabe won Collider screening tickets for Jurassic Park Rebirth on Wednesday in New York City with Q&A with Gareth Edwards and Frank Marshall Wednesday afternoon. Woo! I was supposed to go to that. I would have been able to see you guys. Yeah, I got to actually write Frosty and tell him I can't go because so I had a screening on. There's a screening on Tuesday for F1, and then the other screening I have for Wednesday is the Jurassic World. But the one that they're going to is at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and this one's at 6. Oh, you know me. Nice. I'm going for. I don't go for the special things. It's like you guys are gonna have a great time listening to Edwards and Marshall. It'll be great. I'm out the door the second the music hits for the credits.
My invite must have gotten lost in the email from Frosty.
Oh, you didn't? From Frosty. Yeah, I'll give you mine. You show up to New York. Well, you wouldn't even go to New York.
I sit front row. I should sit front row and go. That's a terrible question, Frosty. Ask a better one.
Man, Dingus McNally, support for 200. Yeah. Oh, again, nice. 40 memberships from Derek if you hit that. So there you go. Okay, Dingus coming in hot here with some support. Nice. Thank you, Dingus. Appreciate that. Okay, we're going more. What
a Monday. What a Monday
indeed. Dingus McNally, you're really trying to take away that potential 5 in a row from the Capes guys. Dingus McNally, I always love an underdog. You got this. Win, Outlaw. There we go.
Thank you.
More support from Derek, who's going to help people get to that 40 membership. Anthony Coles.
Hey.
I saw Brokeback for the first time for the 20th anniversary. Have not been able to get out of my head. Didn't expect to see David Harbour. Oh, is he in that?
Yes.
What's a recent movie that stuck with you for days after? Recent movie? I don't know about a recent, but I'll tell you one that I remember that I sat in the theater when it was over, and I just sat there and didn't move. It was The First Strangers.
Oh, okay.
Sat there going, oof, that was powerful. The first one. So that's the one that comes to mind. You?
I don't know. Let me think about it. Let me look through some of the most recent ones as we're answering questions, and I'll have an answer for you a little bit later. But it's a great question. Yeah.
Don Ronaldo McWhiskey. Hey. Another one. There you go, Don. Thank you so much.
I love Don.
Yeah. We got people don't like clean shaven me. I'm sorry. Haha, Christian, why did you shave? I just told you. Thank you, legend. I just told you. I told everybody. Let's see. Stephanie says that my face benefits from fuzz. Thanks.
Stephanie.
That's right. Hey, she's being honest. My wife said the same thing. It's all right.
I'm dating a freshman.
No, I need a tan. That's also what it is.
Oh yeah, probably.
With this shirt. Al Renshaw, I love this shirt, but I need tan.
Okay, here's my answer. Civil War.
Right.
Civil War.
Warfare.
Warfare.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Warfare. Yeah. I just sat stone silent for through the credits until the guys were cleaning up the theater. Amazing film. Yeah, I would say that. Sorry.
I don't know. Should I take this as a compliment? Someone said I usually come here for the chat and only half pay attention to Christian.
Wow.
Kind of.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know what to do with that. Thanks.
At least he showed up
Mike
and gave
says,
you a review. Yeah.
Ears are good. Kristian, you should grow yours out. I'm going to like I said, guys. I got to be able to see for this role. I've got to be able to do too. It's got to look significantly different because when the thing's taking place, I'm gonna have to grow it out.
Yeah. I can't even grow a beard, so I'm jealous.
Yeah, so it's gonna be very interesting. Brandon Gaines.
Hey,
I was watching a video on Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which made me realize that was the first movie I saw as a kid that I knew was crap. Can you remember your first movie you saw that you realized was not good? That's a great question. Because when you're a kid, everything is great. Because it's a movie, you think everything is really, you don't pay attention to acting, all that stuff too. I'm trying to think of the first fart box that I said, that's terrible. I can't. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's Superman 4, Quest for Peace.
Oh, maybe that's a good one.
Right?
Good one.
What year was that one? That
87. 87.
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm not a kid at 17 then. So
I don't know.
It's got to be something in the early 80s, but I'm not sure that I remember because I didn't see Goonies. I probably would have thought that was a fart box when I saw it in the 80s. Yeah, I can't remember right now, but let me think about it. What about you? You can think of anything?
I can't think. You know what movie I didn't like? Yes, I do know the answer to this. And I was like, I was going to see movies in rated R movies that, because it's different. It's a different time back then.
Yeah, sure.
I was like 8 years old when I saw. I think it was called Red. Was it Red Steel? No, Red Dawn. Not Red Dawn. I love Red Dawn. No, not Red Dawn. Not Red Dawn. What's the one with Arnold? Red Heat.
Red Heat. Him and Jim Belushi. Yeah.
Because I saw every Arnold movie, and I saw Red Heat, and I said I did not like that. I didn't like it. I haven't seen it since I was like 9 years old, whatever it was, maybe 8. And I did not like that movie. I loved Commando. I loved everything else too. I'd seen Arnold. I did not like that. So that's the kind of one. That's the first one I remember.
Oh no, it's Temple of Doom. I remember I did not like Temple of Doom. Oh,
Eric Slavey, when do you think the first He-Man teaser will drop? I think soon.
Yeah, it's got to be soon.
Yeah, because they keep showing it's always a structure. When you'll get the post. Whenever you get the poster, you'll get the trailer the next day. But once you start seeing set photos and all this stuff, that means they're comfortable enough showing people stuff.
Yeah.
Probably within the next month, 2. Yeah. Okay. Again, 129, John.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you vote
so much.
Yeah. Corn Emperor, I say move away from this Skywalker era, please. I don't disagree with that. Kind of move away, for sure. Liam O'Toole, I feel like the difference with Gunn is that he was a public figure as a director first, a role far more in the public eye than a traditional studio head or executive career path. He gets extra heat. I agree. I agree with that.
There are plenty of directors that don't go on social media and make the thing is, you guys have to accept this. James likes the attention. Okay, so because he likes the attention, he's going to get good and bad attention. Just like Kristian and I, everybody does it in the space. I'm not saying they're suckers for attention, but we have to have a certain idea or belief that people want to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
And James feels that way. And I think James, you got to take the good with the bad. So that's part of it. Not every director. I mean, you don't see Nolan on Twitter, tweeting stuff out or whatever. So
it's different. Sunday Joe, big fan since Schmo's days. Thank you, Joe. Love to see you happy with your own channel. I was 15, now I'm 30. Crazy. Any chance of interviewing Stuckman for Shelby Oaks? I actually thought about that recently, reaching out to him once it comes out. But like I said, I'm using him as an example for my pilot, or when I was reading the articles and stuff that he did, and like I said, he raised like 1.2, and I don't think I'm going to even need to raise even close to that to do what I need to do for my pilot. But I really want to make it look. I want to make it look as like it's on FX, like it's on Hulu, like it's on Netflix, like that's. And I want to put some money in to do it, and I want to get the right cast, and I want to get the right director and producer and everything too. So, Stuckman is definitely an example of.
Aren't you on the same coast? He's in Pennsylvania. Where is he?
I don't know where he is. I'm not sure. Nathan Strick, what's worth, Teeth against camera or Tucci as Merlin in Transformers? Tucci was fine in what he was asked to do. It's just the fact that he was asked to do it is the criminal thing.
Yeah. Also, one is not launching an entire comic book franchise in Transformers the last night.
That's one moment.
That does matter, but it matters.
Tucci's the worst thing, though. Tucci's the worst thing because it's a longer scene and it's so stupid. This is even if it isn't a drone thing that is following him, it's a roll your eyes moment for me that I get over really fast.
Yeah, right. If the rest of the film is good, that's what matters.
Yeah. Dingus McNally, thoughts on Punisher and Brand New Day? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, I will say this, and this is the only thing I'll say about this. Okay. I knew this even before John's talked about it.
How dare you? Well, I talked about it. You might not have known it before I knew it, but maybe you knew
I did, but irrelevant. You're the first person that brought it up.
I had to wait 2 months to get the permission to talk about it. But yes. So I like the idea. It feels like old school comic books when they used to have team ups. Yeah. So ever since, I've always enjoyed the idea. So I hope it works.
Still got a bunch left, so let's go through these. Eric Slaby, agreed. Luke has to be in a Thrawn trilogy. Are there any actors you'd like to see Luke, Han, and Leia? I think Garrett Hedlund could be a good Han. I'm telling you, I know that people don't like this. I know people don't like this because, like, oh, just because he does an impression. I thought Anthony Gruber did an incredible job, as young Harrison Ford in that Adeline movie.
Oh, Age of Adeline. Yeah.
He also did all the body capture and everything in the most recent Indiana Jones movie.
True.
Right?
True.
It should be Anthony and Gruber.
Yeah. I like the idea of Sebastian Stan as Luke. I know some people have really pushed that. The Leia thing, I think, is the tough one.
That's a tough one. Yeah, it's
right?
I don't know.
Millie Bobby Brown is not the choice.
You don't think so? I don't know. It's tough. That's too hard to cast. Murtaranta, thoughts on Cena's reverse pipe bomb on Punk? Yeah, we talked about it a little earlier. We both thought it was. We both didn't think the heel run was going good. This was a great step in the right direction. Yeah. Renee Reyes, what do y'all think of John Jones's retirement? Is he ducking Tom Aspinall? Have a great weekend, boys. So I'm going to answer the second part first. Is he ducking Tom Aspinall? Yes. I'm going to answer the first part though. What do you think about John's retirement? If he doesn't have the heat, if he doesn't have the drive, then don't go in there.
Yeah.
He knows what he can do and what he can't. If he knows he doesn't have the eye of the tiger anymore, don't just collect that paycheck if you don't need it and you're gonna hurt your legacy. He knows he can't beat him right now because he doesn't. It has nothing to do with skill. It's Tom Aspinall is a hungry dude.
Yep.
John Jones, he's not hungry anymore. Time to hang him up.
Sometimes in that business, man, if you're not as hungry as you were when you were young, you're going to get swallowed up by the person who is. And John Jones was once Tom Aspinall. It's now his turn to be the establishment. And I think he's smart to get out of the business now, and there's been a lot of stuff around him for years. So,
and he's got legal stuff he's still dealing with.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's time to jump. Geek Lodestars, 28 years later, more like 28 inches later, I've seen a lot of divide on the movie. I like some things that they did, but it didn't meet expectations. Fair. Right. Ray Fiennes was my favorite part, and the concept of death in this universe. Like I said, I knew it was going to be not everybody it's an acquired taste. I really enjoyed it. I was locked in the whole time, but I happen to agree, and I really understood where John was coming from in his assessment and the breakdown of it. I don't agree with all the points, but I understand how he sees it that way, and I understand why he feels about it the way that he does.
Ditto.
Yep. Julius Wyatt. I hope the Odyssey trailer will open before Jurassic World. That's what they said. Yeah. Based on its history, it'll probably be my favorite part of my viewing experience. Maybe it's getting good, decent reviews. The new Jurassic World.
All the people they curated to go see it. I mean, we're not going to mention someone who always loves every Jurassic World.
I know. I did mention Perry already. I already mentioned that before it hit too.
I want to make sure. Yeah.
I did. I mentioned all that, and I said, but the thing is, though, that was initially, and then they started coming out with more people that saw it and said, I mean, even like, because Corey hasn't liked a lot of the Jurassic Worlds that have come out. He said, look, this isn't the best comment to say about it. He goes, but it's the best of the Jurassic Worlds, which I don't know further what it is, but there's other people who've said it. So I'm curious about it. I want to see.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Chrome Raigu. I hear everything you guys are saying about Gunn. At the end of the day, I'm just here to watch movies, enjoy the life I have. Love the content. Who doesn't respect that comment?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't carry it. I don't make it clear. Like, I don't walk around all day stomping my feet going, James Gunn did. Honestly, once we're done with the shows, I roll on, hang out with my lady, and watch whatever's on TV. Like, it's like not really a big deal, but
yeah,
I like to talk about it on the shows.
Awesome Prime OG. Spike storyline 20 years later took me out. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not alone on this, man.
No, you're not. I actually saw a review of somebody who said it too. And I saw someone who responded to one of my things because I said it in my review how much I love the kid. And they're like, the kid stinks. So what are you talking about? The kid was great. But a lot of people loved it. 138, John.
Wow.
138 crushing here today. Corn Emperor. Thank you, Christian. The movie matters. Which one? What am I talking about?
He's talking about Superman.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It
Sure,
doesn't.
Eric,
It
it
doesn't.
does. You're out of your mind.
No, it's
Eric
not
Slaby.
about, we're arguing about how he's running the DC. It's not about whether the movies are
that's
good.
part
That's
of
what I'm arguing. I'm not arguing about the quality of the movie. I've not said one thing
But
arguing
okay.
about the quality of the movie.
We'll let's talk more in a couple weeks. Eric Slaby. Rocha does dislike Gunn a little bit. Denial is a river in Egypt. That's hilarious. Seriously though, what would Gunn need to do to improve your opinions about him? You're talking about John. To me, he's tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Tell the honest truth of what's really going on with the Batman. Don't hide behind anything. Tell the truth. Say, yes, you know what? We're in a pickle right now. We got to see how Superman does, because I want to see if I can get a little more cachet to kind of move out Matt Reeves as Batman so I can do my own Batman, because we know it's going to confuse people to have two Batman films coming out within months of each other, and we don't want to confuse the audience. And unfortunately, the Batman was successful. Fortunately for Warner Brothers, but unfortunately for me, Batman was successful. And now I have to deal with this, because this is a player I didn't recruit who is on my team. I'm forced to have on my team. So I think that's the thing. Just tell the truth about what's really going on. I think he's playing a little spin game here that's frustrating. So take your denial and shut up.
All right.
Ding, ding, ding. What's going on?
DC Kogami. I do think Gunn gets too much criticism for his decision making, especially in a world where cinematic universe exists in comparison to someone like Feige, who didn't have to deal with that early on.
But you can't change time. You know, everything is within whatever context it's created. And so, and you're crazy if you don't think Feige got crap for Iron Man 2, for Hulk, for the first Thor. There were some questions about Feige. People seem to have some kind of blackout around the early days of Marvel. There were critics who were saying this was ridiculous,
and they still get some.
Didn't want to be part of it. You know, go ahead, sorry.
No, he gets shit for it now too. Derek Johnson, the movie isn't the problem. I'm talking about the man and his leadership, not his ability to put out or make a good movie. That movie could do $1 billion. And I still feel same about him. But okay. I'm arguing with both Derek Johnson and Rocha here at the same time here. Of course, it's part of his leadership. If he puts together, he's the one who greenlit the movie and decided for himself to make the film. Yes. So, and he decided to put this movie as the first one to lead into Supergirl. And then of course, it's his leadership decisions. It's not just about putting out the movie. It's his decision of how you're going to introduce all of this to the world. So of course it's a leadership decision.
Right.
You don't think it is?
Oh, no, I think it's a leadership decision. I don't think he should have directed the movie.
Oh,
and I think he should have sat back as a studio head.
But you haven't seen it.
Other directors. No, but it's irrelevant if the movie is good or not. It's about leadership.
Wait, what are you talking about? It's irrelevant if the movie is good. But you hire someone that might have done an okay job.
You're saying we should revere Bobby Knight when he won those titles, and all the things he did to those kids is okay because he won titles? That doesn't make sense.
That is so. Come on.
No, but I'm saying the way you lead to these things, you can be criticized for the way you lead to these things. Of course, I'm not saying James Gunn is Bobby Knight. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying, but no, I don't agree with.
I think the movie's going to be great. I don't have any worries that the movie's going to be good. Yeah.
Corn Emperor, you're still my goat, Rocha. There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Emperor. With 139, Derek Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy. Still got some good Star Wars projects under her belt, but you still want her gone, right? Some people aren't meant to captain the ship. Some people are see the warning signs faster than others. Yeah. So here's the difference. You're saying I don't know what I think she's got 2 good movies under her belt. 2 good. One of them is good, which is Rogue One, which I think is the best. The problem with The Force Awakens is The Force Awakens I can't watch anymore because it's fine. But I know where it leads. I know where it goes. And there's no follow-up to it all. So ultimately, Force Awakens, not watchable, not a great movie. Last Jedi stinks. And Rise of Skywalker is just cotton candy that gets you, sugar, and that's it. And you had nothing else. Nothing. So no, she didn't have any good movies, except Rogue One. She had Rogue One. Solo stunk. And so there you go. I want her gone because of the mismanagement of the leadership, which what we're talking about. There's not enough game tape on James Gunn to say. Yeah. So that's the 141. Wow. As we keep going here. Tim, Derek Johnson pays Christian's bills. I love it. In this show, he certainly is. I'm not going to say, look, we'll call like John wants truth of James Gunn. They're not going to today. It says truth. Sergio C, what's up with the Batman Part 2 script? It's supposed to be ready today.
Nope. James Gunn came out on Threads and said yesterday that it's not going to be ready today, and that was false from Matt Maloney, one of the most plugged in insiders who has connections all over DC and Warner Brothers. He was apparently wrong, but James Gunn is right.
Al Rencha, Rocha defending himself like day chalkboard meme.
What is that? What's
I don't know, but it's hilarious.
Okay.
Hell has frozen over, and now I hope this is what I hope happens.
Oh,
right
boy,
now you're at 142.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope that the Capes and Cows guys end the show on Friday with 141.
Ooh,
and do you know what? Do you know why? Because
why?
PLD sent one in.
Oh,
I hope PLD is the deciding factor in the victory.
Yeah.
I suddenly love James Gunn more and more for this episode for some reason. There you go, because he's
of course he always has to be counter, but
he's part of that 142.
PLD produces your shows and he's not on camera doing what we do. But
he's great on the live streams. He's great on the live streams.
Yeah, that only you all watch.
The memberships that they love him. Randall W. I like Gunn for quirky characters. For a cultural icon like Superman, I feel it's a tone clash. I'm hopeful, but I do fear another director would have fit better. Fingers crossed. I will have that conversation with you after I see the film.
Yeah.
I
know, and I know you'll be honest. I don't think other people will be honest, but I certainly think you'll be honest about the movie.
Yeah.
If you're getting paid by DC, I don't believe a goddamn thing you say about anything coming out from DC. If you're working for DC, I don't believe a fucking thing you say.
Shots fired. DC. Shots fired. You got to come on Friday. You got to come on Friday. Jay Anderson, our opinions may be similar and the resemblance uncanny. I'm not a Rocha avatar. I vote conservative. Go wild chat. There you go. See, look. Neeks 2890 popping in to show support for Rocha and you, Kristian. Happy Monday and keep up the great work, gent balls. Thank you, Neeks. Adding it. You guys really showed up for Rocha today. Matt Krugman, Rocha, I'm a massive Gunn fan, and I never 1 second got an impression that you're a hater. You have valid concerns. Don't listen to the crap. What a great comment by Matt.
Oh, thank you, Matt. There is always in the sea of madness, there's always some sane person. So thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
Unheard Sirens Incorporated. Just started rewatching Miss Maisel with my wife. I love that show. And Brosnan is a treasure. Can't wait to see what she does with Lois Lane. I think she's going to be one of the main standouts.
I would think she'll be the first one to ever go rival Margot Kidder. And maybe. I'm so excited for it because she looks so great.
Great. Tim Sim. By the way, I'm down with Filoni since the animated shows so well. Sorry, Harloff. But Tim, why? Besides the animated shows? Like what's he done to show you that he can run the film department that's not just Star Wars? That said, he'll really need talented writers around him to get the details down. That I'll agree on. I just don't understand why anyone would be on board with that. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I respect it, Tim, but I just don't get it. Gene Bernst. People complain about teams. Try being a Miami Dolphins fan. I don't even have a playoff win since '99. Star Wars and Snyder fans, be quiet. I think mic drop there, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Tua, I don't know if you guys are going to win a playoff game. Yeah.
Crash and Coyote coming back in on you. Pull up Guns OG announcement and rewatch it with Rocha to watch him eat his words live. Timestamp.
Sure.
He says usually after the quote you used. 152.
Yeah, after he said will, then he caught himself and said usually. So which one are you going with? The one you want to go with? And I'm going with the thing that he first said, which was his original intention. So again, you're cherry picking what you want to cherry pick for your own defense. So you can eat your words because I just made you eat your words by reading the quote that he actually said.
Parker Holler. I think more filmmakers should be front and center promoting their films. Just like Coogler earlier, I like seeing Gunn out there. I don't disagree. I just think that there's a balance, but I don't disagree.
Why aren't we seeing more of Corn Sweat and Holt and Brosnahan? Why aren't they the ones leading the promotion of this movie? This is the frustrating part too. Why is James Gunn taking black and white James Bond shots in a Rolling Stone interview when that space could be used for interviewing Corn Sweat, interviewing Rachel Brosnahan, so that people can get to know them more? And not everybody watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And nobody knows who Corn Sweat is beyond him being cast. Before he was cast, nobody knew who he was. So it's like, these are the things. This is real estate that you're giving to your studio head and your director of the movie that you're giving to the actors who are actually selling the movie. So
that's a valid point. James, Matt Bolt, since Disney didn't change the head of Lucasfilm in a timely fashion, didn't they have creative culpability? It's a great question.
Oh, yeah.
Great question. I think that's, I mean, potentially, potentially. But if you want to look at, like, again, leadership and what you're doing, there is a very good point made there where it's like, look, and I've said this before. I've said, look, at this point, like, Iger had all the opportunity to say, hey, I mean, we all thought it was going to happen after Indiana Jones tanked.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we tried this. Let's move on. Let's get something new here. But no, she lasted for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt Krugman. Gunn and Snyder would be hilarious to shut up all these dingleberries up at once and produce a banger animated project together. Any DC IP will do. Just make something amazing and shut all those a-holes up. I actually think it would be a great way to, as they say, Braveheart, unite the clans. If they did, if Snyder did a DC project, I think he should.
I think he should 100%. And they like each other. So I'd love to see them work together on something.
Yep. Tyler. Hey, John, aka Fart Spray. James here. DC. Just kidding about the fart spray. Want to run duos on Fortnite later? Just drop the Superman skin. Dibs.
Dude, I'm not 21 years old. I don't know what Fortnite is. I understand what it is, but I don't play it, nor do I go near that. I'm still working my way through Ghost of Tsushima, for God's sake.
Chris J. Herman, I'm on your side with Gunn, Christian. He seems to have a good understanding of how many of these DC characters, particularly Supes, hoping for the best. Me too. He seems to really care.
I agree with that. So you're on my side as well. I agree that he has a good grasp and understanding of the DC characters. The PR game, I don't sense that he has a good understanding or grasp of how to do that.
Eric Slavy, the Skip Bayless comparison is great. Keep up the great work, guys. The healthy debates add a fun entertainment element to the show. Yeah, it's the whole reason we decided the two of us started doing this show in the first place.
Yeah. All I need is a big gold chain to wear around my neck.
Yeah. Clip Champ Razor, just another person suggesting Rocha should make a political channel for weekly politics show. Daily one. It would be. He would have double my subscribers right now if he did that.
Dude, they'll deport me one day afterwards. What are you talking about? As soon as I started, they'll go after me, and I won't be able to leave my house.
Yeah. Neeks 2890. Watched Prey last night before Killer of Killers. Man, I'm pissed I didn't see it in theaters. Loved it, and the Midthunder's a star. It wasn't in the theaters.
No, it wasn't. Yeah,
it
was on Hulu, bro.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater though. They did a special screening, but it was just for people to see it. But it's not it wasn't in the theater, so you didn't miss it in the theater. Yeah. Okay. Julius White, are both you guys on still good terms with Perry? Yeah, very good terms with Perry. I talked to her last week. You don't talk to her as much, right?
No. No. We haven't talked since the Schmodown, I think, when we faced off with Horowitz there. I think that's the last time we really talked. Yeah, she's never reached out or anything. So
she's also very busy, dude. She's also, she's slammed right now. But Hasbro 24. What was your favorite movie as a kid? Empire Strikes Back, Rocky movies. That's it.
Probably Superman, 1978 Superman.
That was up there for me too. Edit the movies. Rocha, to love James Gunn, J-Lo is Wonder Woman. What would you do? Would you jump out the window? Jump out the window, I think.
Oh my God. I would think that he would be personally trolling me if he did that. And even though he wouldn't be, I would think that.
Look at Nate coming in. 10 memberships for Rocha.
Nice.
Look at that. Pooh the Weenie. $2 for Alpha Schlong in 20 years. I think it's a character in itself. My choice. What do we have more of? Gift members or super chats? I know at this point, who knows? Shay Markel. Hey, Rocha, don't want to pretend like I know everything about you, but I agree with the peeps, man. I liked you on Collider, but these past few years, I like you've been kicking more ass. Stay awesome. Very kind.
Thanks, Shay. I appreciate that. Very fun. Very much.
Dingus McNally. Support for 200.
Hey.
151 at the moment. Armada, what's the best Romero zombie movie? The one in the mall.
Yes, Day of the Dead. I think the first one is always the best one, but yeah.
Right now and later. Sending love for Rocha. There you go.
Thank you, bud.
Shay Markel. See you August 9th, everybody. So for people who don't know, thank you for the plug there, Shay. Myself and Sam, we're doing a live event August 9th. I hope you guys can join us. Please come and join us.
This is crap. You were supposed to do a live event with me, you, and Dan. Where is that? Set that up.
Yeah, well, you gonna pay for your own flight? Right.
I can do that.
Sam lives here.
If you pay me for the night, I can do that. If I get to sell my own merch, I can do that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we'll do that next time. Doug Developer. As someone who is very close to his mother, I hope the mom in Squid Game survives. Saddest scene involved with the death of a mother. Bambi.
Yeah, probably Bambi.
Bambi. Yeah. Kid's so cute.
Yeah, probably Bambi.
And I'll tell you
I think Guardians of the Galaxy scene with him running out when his mom dies.
Too, and the other one is that one, the freaking the Taika Waititi movie, Scarlett Johansson.
Which one's that one?
Jojo Rabbit.
Oh yes! Oh my God! Brutal. Yes.
Brutal. Armada. Also, the Kirk Douglas Ulysses Odyssey movie. Good. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I grew up on that one. Hell yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
All right, let's see. So right now,
gotta get home.
so Bobby Jackson coming in hot. Hey guys, did either one of you watch the new Toxic Avenger trailer? I'm curious after seeing it. No, someone asked me that the other day. I like that they're doing that. I like that they're doing it, but I don't really have an interest in it.
I'm not really a trauma guy, no offense, but yeah, so I didn't watch it either.
Hasbro 24. Here's some super support that counts as 5 for Rocha, -5 for those nerds known as capes and also, Rocha gets 200 and needs to wear the black hat next week. Would you do that if you hit 200?
100%.
Okay,
for you guys,
we're real over by like 20 minutes right now, so I don't know.
I'll wear the mask and everything. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to hit 50 in the matter of we're already over time. Okay. Ballsy, any reaction to the John Berthel news, gents? That's got to be such a stinger for you when someone asks that.
I wonder if they don't know that it was me who broke it. Yes, it is frustrating, but it's okay.
If he's breaking balls, that's funny. But if not, it's sad. Not his fault.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah, no,
so Ballsy, in case you didn't know, John broke that news a long time ago. But yes, it's exciting. It's exciting that he's going to be in it. I think it makes sense. The whole point is going after the Hulk. Eric Slavey, if the Odyssey is a hit with Hollywood, well, will Hollywood make sword and sandal films like a Jason Argonauts remake or Theseus and the Minotaur? No, because they're going to be very aware that it was Nolan that made it happen.
You hope, right? Yeah,
you would hope.
Yeah.
Crashing Coyote. Hey. Luke or PLD, clip this out, please. 1, 2, 3, go. The number one worst thing about the Schmodown was the outlaw. Oh my God. I am Kristian Harloff and I approve this message. Look at that.
Seeking attention. Just like it's no surprise to me that someone who defends James Gunn is seeking more attention and riding the coattails of others to get himself attention when he's a nobody. So, all right, go ahead, Crashing Cody.
Without the outlaw, the wrestling aspect would have never taken off.
You wouldn't have a Schmodown without me and Dan.
Well, you wouldn't have had the people understanding what it was. I'll tell you that. PLD Projects, Temple of Doom. And you support this man?
No surprise that a man from Texas likes a film with racism in it.
No, stop it. Oh, come on. That's not where you should go.
Racism in that movie.
That's where you're going with that.
I'm telling you, that's why the movie sucks.
Oh, come on. Stop it.
Here's what white people think of Indian culture. Please go read all the criticisms from Indian critics about that film.
John Rocha. JC Mighty, not sure where all the hate for Secret Invasion. I'll tell you why, it stinks. Geoff Power was amazing. Her arms could turn into anyone's arms. Top draw Marvel. Yeah, he's kidding. Because obviously,
I hope he is. I hope he is. Yeah.
Armada. Spielberg UFO movie wrapped in Weapons Trail. Wild. I haven't seen the Weapons trailer, but because I want to see
it dropped just before we started.
Yeah. I want the UFO movie. I can't wait for obviously. Kyle Wilson, member for 3 months. Thank you, Kyle. Hello, gents. Justice for Rocha. What was your first car? An old Aerostar van. Wow. We used to smoke pot in it, called the bakery. Mine was 77 old Cutlass Supreme. Did you race after the first Fast and Furious? Great show, guys. Not with my Aerostar van. No.
What was my first car? I think it was a Toyota Supra that my dad bought for $2,000 as a used car for me, which was really kind of him. And we didn't have a lot of money, so it was the best we could afford at the time. And no, I didn't take that thing racing.
Fair. Bobby Jackson, what's your top 5 growing up cartoons? Oof. Transformers, yes. Thundercats, yes. G.I. Joe, yes. Robotech, no, probably Voltron and He-Man. But all those, I would take Robotech out and put Voltron in there.
Yeah, those all fit for me too. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. No, I didn't skip a bunch. Shoot, I gotta go back up on the. Apparently, some questions that got missed. I'll go back up and check. Paul Hitchcock, yo, Rocha, how are you liking Sophie Cunningham?
Love that girl, man. Bringing the hammer. Caitlin needed it on the Indiana Fever. So it's nice to see someone stepping up who's her teammate, who's willing to take some suspensions and fines to defend her. And that was some nonsense. Marina Mabry should be kicked out for 10 games.
Aiden Cossack, Rocha ranting for months about sticking to your word, and then soft launching his new YouTube channel name on the same show is pretty on brand for the Rocha says. I don't know, is Rocha ranting? Sticking to your word. That's not sticking to your word. I mean, Aiden, you were saying the same thing about me. Like I had my show was called Big Thing, and I changed it to Kristian Harloff because it fit the brand. It's the same show. I don't know what John's changing it to, but like,
that's weird.
I don't know what that means, Aiden.
This reads to me like I've never run a YouTube channel and I don't know what I'm talking about. That's all I read when I read this comment.
I'm not sure about it. E. Roberts, every hero got a love interest to help their overall arc. Tony, Star-Lord, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Thor, Steve. Why didn't they give Sam Wilson one? He might get one. I think Sam's trying to figure out everything because the difference is those guys weren't following anybody. Right. Like he's got to follow somebody to make his own way first. You got to get that out of the way before you can give him a love interest. Plus, he doesn't have a hit movie yet.
Yeah.
You got to give him. He's got to be able to get out of the shadow first.
They were hinting at it in Brave New World with the woman who was working in the White House. I think there was hints of that, but they didn't 100% explore that. So, yeah.
Sydney Hogarth, support for Rocha. Also, Christian for 28 years later. You want me to be in that? Sure, I'll be in it. DC Kogami. At the end of the day, I think the quality of the product matters most coming out of DC. I agree.
Sure. The quality of the product is important. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Bobby Jackson. I got to the birth scene in 28 years later before the power went out in my theater. Oh my God. I was mostly with the film until Spike made a silly choice and it changed directions. Not sure when I'll finish it. Also fair. Like I said, I didn't think I wasn't surprised to hear people were, on the fence. Derek Johnson. Andor was done under her leadership, right? That was excellent, but still, she needs to go. Yeah, but that's years. But she's been there for years, Derek. Yeah. This guy's been there for a year and a half. He's been there a year and a half. Filthy Sharp. What about Dane DeHaan for a recast of Luke? I like Dane DeHaan, but a little too emo.
Yes, agreed. Too emo.
Yeah. PLD Projects.
Hey,
third one, man. One of these days I'll be home during a Monday and hop on, and then we'll talk.
No thanks.
No thanks.
No thanks. I mean, how many followers do you have? I don't waste my time with that. Go ahead.
No thanks. The delivery on that was awesome. Cowboys.
Hey guys, here's what I think in Houston about all this stuff. No, I don't. I'm good, PLD.
PLD, bury your ass.
Please.
Cowboys fan 92. Hi, John.
Happy to bring his whole crew on from the band again that he drove me home in. Yeah.
No. Shouting you out and all over Twitter and calling out the trades on the brand new day story being broken by you in January. There you go. Good. Please do that. Brandon Gaines, support for Rocha.
Thank you, Brandon.
Coming in hot now for Rocha. Wow, what a day for Rocha. This is Rocha's best day in months.
This is a really tough thing for PLD to be in the minority. Is it a new feeling for you to be in the minority, PLD? Go ahead.
Geek Lodestars. What's a movie franchise you want to see make a return? Dread. I don't know if it's a franchise.
That's a great choice, Christian. Dread.
I want to see that come back.
I mean, everything seems to be in the process of coming back, so I don't know that there is a movie franchise. Batman?
Perfect. Julius Wyatt. The NBA is over now. I'll have sports depression until football season starts because baseball doesn't do it for me. Hope Hallie and Tatum recover. Same.
We ain't going to see them next season. We ain't going to see them next season.
No, they shouldn't. They should take the season off and get better.
I agree.
Jim Burton. Christian, what competition do you have between your hosts? Do they actually win anything if they win for the week? People want to know. Keep killing. Yes, they get the person who wins gets a bonus for the week.
Yeah.
So it works. Tyler. So is that a no on Fortnite? Jeff. Sincerely, James. There you go.
There you go.
Ed at the movies. If Rocha is Bayless, who is your basketball goat? Is my basketball goat? Jordan.
It's not even a question.
I don't think we're gonna have. And someone said we should bet on Superman, but I think we both agree it's going to do well. Dingus McNally support. Dingus McNally support. Derek Johnson 10 more memberships.
Nice.
Derek Johnson crushing it here today. Derek also says we may not make it, so I'll give you 10 for a good try. Chat. Hey,
there you go.
JC Mighty, come on, guys. Of course, I didn't like Secret Invasion.
Thank you, Jason.
I got past 2 episodes and bailed. Cowboys fan 92. By the way, go watch the Dallas Wings highlights from yesterday. They went into overtime and only lost by 3. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Page is playing for those Page Bookers. Yeah.
Crash and Coyote. Rocha. James Gunn hate backfires. Got to rebrand. Stop it, Coyote. Come on. Geek Lodestars. Rocha, what's the next game you have lined up after the Ghost of Tsushima?
I have the Assassin's Creed Samurai one. I'm kind of on a samurai run, so I want to jump into that one next. But the Indiana Jones one is the one that I'm tempted to maybe take a break and do that because I've been inundated with samurai for the last few months.
DC Kogami. Richard Madden for Batman?
Too small.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Kevin Steinkamp. I agree with Rocha. Superman can be great, but James Gunn needs to stop making himself the focus points of discussion. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't necessarily disagree with all of that.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Let the work speak for itself. Don't do all the speaking.
I want to double check here because some people say I missed some here. I want to make sure it is also because I want to make sure that I have your
exact total.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking as we're going. Maybe John, you know what? Why don't you do one of your amazing you can go plug, and then you can also do some of your monologue about James Gunn, whatever you want to say, and then I'm going to go.
Can we take down this chat though?
Yes. Sorry. There There you go.
Thank you all so much. Listen, you can always follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and you can subscribe to my Outlaw Nation. Subscribe to the Outlaw Nation. It will be called the John Rocha channel soon. I'm announcing that on social media. You guys get the first dibs because you guys put a lot of super chats through. So thank you so much. But it will be the John Rocha channel. We're rebranding not because I changed my mind or whatever that guy said. It was because Kristian suggested it, because Kristian says a better way of marketing what we're doing there on the channel. So, and the Outlaw, honestly, that was 7 years ago. It was as Mark Ellis said, it was a long time ago and he's moved on. So the Outlaw, it was fun for what it is. It'll still have an Outlaw energy. You all know that, but it'll be the John Rocha channel, and all the shows that are coming through are going to have great new graphics and fantastic openings. Some of you have already seen some of the stuff. So come give the channel a try, and there's a lot of great people who co-host stuff on the show with me. Michael Vogel's an amazing executive. Shannon's a phenomenal writer and actor. Jeff, what Jeff does, Jeff Snyder. Winston A. Marshall will spill the tequila. A lot of great people come on the show. So come on the channel. So please, plus Jedi Way with Kevin Smets, who, if you haven't seen KOTOR Convergence, please watch it on YouTube. It's so good. And Laura Kelly, who I love working with. So please come and hang out with us.
I'm not seeing. I'm even in the YouTube. I'm in the YouTube stuff right now, looking at all the questions.
I know. I Z for everyone. I know it'll never catch fire, but guess what, buddy? I'm okay with that. It's okay.
Tyler, ever rip massive crack during a movie?
Yes.
I smell. Oh, okay. During a movie,
usually when no one's in the theater, though. Usually when no one's in the theater.
I'll never forget that. I think it was it Scream 4?
Yeah.
I was in the theater. And we're in the theater, was packed, and I just was not liking that movie. And someone ripped one, and I looked over down the line, and I went, "That's the best part of the movie, buddy." Yeah. And they got to laugh. Yeah, I looked through it. Normally, I can look through and look at YouTube, and it show. I didn't see any missed questions there. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah. So, again, John, 163.
Oh, that's a total
pretty good number to have. You beat what the guys did on Capes last week by 20, so something like that. So big day for John Rocha here today, guys. Again, thank you guys for joining us here today. Really appreciate it. 163. Thanks to John for sticking on a little longer here today. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Really appreciate you guys. I think Monday hot mics are pre-recorded. Okay. All right. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.